Greetings, gamers. Welcome back to our first ever Swiss style tournament here in the Blue Otter League. On the stream tonight, we'll be taking a look at the 1-0 portion of the bracket, specifically Iceborn Kingdom versus Moonlight Spire. In the meantime, let's talk some Otter. I am your host, Crewman44, and my dear guests, only a couple of you tonight. If you could please introduce yourselves with your IGN, your role, and please share who you personally think is the most proficient yapper playing in this season of Emerald. Glorsnack's coming to you first.
Hello, it was me, Glorsnacks, King of Emerald, as stated by Zol. Geniuses of Emerald podcast, currently hosted by Espada. But here's the real podcast, hosted by the real Kings of Emerald.
The official. Yeah.
The official Kings of Emerald. The biggest yapper is probably Espada or any
Yeah.
XSV member. No
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah. Seems about right. And our other guest, please introduce yourself.
I'm the goat. Everyone already knows who I am. I'm Zed, the literal only good player here who no one picked up. GG. Uh, biggest yapper. Either Spada or honestly Jake. We'll show the
Yeah,
money.
fair enough. Fair enough. On the same team, notably. So definitely a strong contender when it comes to the typing. So we'll have to see if that is going to help him out this season. But yeah, interesting you mentioned that. I was surprised to not see you on any of these rosters. I was just messaging you earlier, being
Yeah,
like,
I
Zed,
was
what
surprised
team are you
too.
on? Like, where are you at? But, I've heard that there's some changes happening for some of these teams already. So potentially you could get in there, but maybe we'll get into that a bit more later. To start off, let's just do, I'd like to do a quick review of the results that we did see from last week. Anything in particular here, guys, that you really thought was pretty noteworthy? We could start out by talking a little bit about the match that we did stream. Obviously, you were here for that, Glor Snacks. We did see Gluttony take down Dorado Iota 2-1. Anything in particular from that series that stands out to you a week later?
Uh, Honestly, the fact that Iota is in the 0-1 bracket, and it's a bit crazy. Then you draw XSV Envy, so pretty tough. Pretty tough. Iota has to go
No.
through the gauntlet of XSV teams. But I mean, it was a very entertaining series. It was very fun to cast as well.
It definitely was. Yeah. And for at least for Dorado Iota, they did have that pretty one-sided victory in game two, right? So despite the fact that, as you say, they are in the 0-1 bracket, they could still be a contender if they're able to get a couple of wins here. Did you watch the stream last week, Zed?
Yeah, unfortunately I did. I watched the boys at
Unfortunately.
Dorado, especially one of my favorite players in NBK because I've seen him go from arguably one of the worst players I've ever played against to
Oh.
easily one of the better ones, and I just watched him get touched on repeat. I mean,
Hmm.
we gave Scion, Smolder, Trundle game one. Mel just ran the map because that champ is completely broken. And then, I mean, game two, like you said, really good showing from NBK. And then game three, it just kind of fell away from Dorado, where they had the momentum to kind of end it all. And then I believe it was at the end, Set Alt just nukes Dorado Gaming, and they just lose.
Yeah.
Here's hoping though this week they can pick up a win, so I don't have to see them go to the O2 bracket, or else I might start crying.
Well, we don't want that. Yeah, they are going to have their chance to get some revenge against the XSV organization. So we'll see if they're going to be able to get that done. Well, there was one other match in particular that we kind of wanted to talk about. Pop Tart, were you able to pull that post match screen, or should we just do this verbally? All good, all good. Yeah, we wanted to talk a little bit about that match between Iceborn Kingdom and the Chosen Inters. You guys were saying, I think you, Zed, you were saying that you felt like Iceborn was pretty
It's
heavily
just
favored, right?
it's just a crazy game to get into because everyone has chosen enters all the way down. I mean, I still have them all the way down, but they grabbed the game from Iceborn Kingdom, a team with some of the best players in their roles. Retail row support, arguably one of the best supports here, and OTF, who's rinsing off the
Yeah.
rust and coming back down to show everyone that he is the best at what he does, and they just didn't do it this series. I mean, it was you can blame it on the Ziggs being OP, taking turrets and everything, but I don't know. It was just a rough showing that game. We dropped the game to Chosen Inters, so
Yeah, yeah. I did notice in that game that Iceborn lost. So easy. The top laner for Iceborn did go 8-1 that game on the AP Gragas, but wasn't enough to get him over the line. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Obviously, Iceborn did end up taking the series 2-1. They won games
thank
2 and 3 there. But anything from that match that you thought was particularly noteworthy, Glorsnax?
I
Just
mean,
looking.
yeah, I guess there's like some noteworthy things, but it's just a little tough that they even lost that.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. A potential sign for concern for the Iceborne Kingdom fans. They did lose that one game, but you're talking about OTF there, Zed, and OTF as alongside Koopa and Retail Row as well. All had great performances in games 2 and 3, the games that they did win. So hopefully, it's just some early season rust that they were looking to shake off in that first game, and then obviously, as we can see this week, looks like they're going up against Moonlight Spire, right? Of course, on our featured streamed matchup this evening. So
yeah.
potentially going to be a difficult opponent. If Iceborne Kingdom are really not as strong as we expected them to be, then could be a great opportunity for the Spire team to move up to 2-0. We'll get into that more in just a moment. What was that, Glorsnax?
I don't
Sorry,
think he
my
said.
wife.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Does your wife have any thoughts about Iceborne Kingdom?
No, she doesn't. She's
Okay.
trying to punish my cat.
Well, good luck getting the cat out of the cabinet. That sounds a bit tricky, but for now, let's go ahead and take a look at our predictions for this week. So I understand we're having an issue with the graphic, so I guess perhaps we're just going to be staying on the bracket. Oh, we got it to work. Wonderful. Look at that. All right. So Team Solo Invade versus Crowd Control In-Houses. The first matchup here. We are predicting TSI across the board. CCI did have, I believe, a pretty rough first week. I think they were one of the first matches to finish,
Yeah,
right?
they were
Oh,
the
they
third
had,
match to finish, and it was a pretty big stomp against their
yeah,
opponent of Conduit Phoenix. But I mean, if you look at their drafts like really close, you can just see it's a jungle top lane solo carry in almost all of these games where he's 12-1 on the Ambessa, and then the very next game he's 10-2 on the Mordekaiser. I mean, he's 44,000 damage, and the rest of his team, except for AD, isn't doing anything.
yeah, that is really interesting. Baxel, I kind of felt like was a relatively average top laner in the Premier League, so really cool to see him popping off this hard in week number 1 of Emeralds. Definitely a very impressive performance from that CCI suppression top laner in week number 1. Glorsnax, you have anything you'd like to add about that matchup, TSI versus CCI?
I think this is the prediction most likely to get wrong. Uh Honestly, I do think that it's a 2-1. Yeah, anyway. I do think that the CCI team, despite being rated so low in the preseason power rankings, definitely just proved that they are much better than ever expected, right? A lot of teams had them as like 14th, 15th average, right? And they just came out and they just completely stomped Phoenix. Just like super, super tough stomp. And now we just have to see if this Phoenix squad, doesn't live up to expectations, or is CCI for real and that we underrated them heavily, right? Because I definitely believe that if Baxel's able to just perform like he did last week, they will have no problem beating TSI, and it could even be a CCI 2-0.
It could
But
be. It could be.
but I'm
Yeah,
going off of my friend Sinja. He is playing on TSI. I believe in
Right.
him. So that is why I vote for them, despite my feelings towards the owner.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
I mean,
Um,
TSI just look like overall the better team across the map. League is a 5v5 game, not 1v5, thank God. So hopefully Baxel doesn't get to run the map like he did last week, and if he does, time to check that guy's PC. But you know, I mean, this crowd control in house. I've seen them before. I can't really place where. I believe it was Aegis last split, and they just looked completely lost. And it's majority returning players, and I just think this is maybe their one-off chance of getting a game.
mm. Okay. Yeah, it's Team Solo Invade also had a pretty hot start in their week 1 match. They were able to 2-0 Mint Mafia pretty convincingly and Smoke, the top laner for TSI. I do feel like is a pretty solid like defensive player that I mean we've certainly seen him break out like some more aggressive counter picks and stuff as well, but I feel like he should be capable theoretically of containing Baxel. So we'll see if that is how things end up playing out. But taking a look at this next matchup here, we've got Monkey's Business versus Sin Squad Zero. Shout out to Nahor. He was going to be joining us for the podcast, but had change of plans last minute. Something about a doggo misbehaving, similar to your cat situation, Glor Snacks. So
Yeah.
the pets just not wanting to cooperate this evening, I guess. But I am the only Sin predictor here. It looks like both of you guys actually going for that Monkey's prediction. Now, Glor Snacks, what are your thoughts on the matchup?
Uh, I think the Syndicate team is interesting. Definitely. I think they have some issues to work out about their pressures in certain lanes. And I think if the bot lane gets pressured heavy, it's kind of tough for them to translate a lot of their league, right? You know, they did go against XSV Justice, who has made some changes to that roster, so we'll see if it does affect anything of this week, though. I just think it's going to be interesting for them. I think Monkey's Business, it should be a good series either way. I think I have it as 2-1, but my question is can Syndicate Squad Zero take ahead early game control? And if they can, then I see them winning the series 2-1. But I do
I
think
Mm.
don't
Monkey's Business should always take a game.
I don't know. I think coming out of both watching this team, talking to a bunch of people about this team, and then scrimming them on I believe 2 occasions now or one, I could be mistaken. A lot of these bad teams mess together in my head. I just think they look lost. I have zero confidence in this roster whatsoever. The only person I think I can say I have a little confidence in is Espada, and even then he can't solo carry a series. It's not possible for him. I think their bot lane is probably their biggest issue. Support. He's way too aggressive on almost all of his picks. He thinks he's playing Nautilus when he's on Janna, and I think it's just going to catch up to them in this series. And Business have a superior support, as much as it hurts me to say. In Nahor, Zuzumi is a really solid mid laner who definitely can carry the game. And then the rest of the map is just whatever. I mean, top lane, Espada might be able to equal it out or even go ahead, but at the end of the day, it's not really going to matter when the rest of his team is 0-10.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Domination there for Sin did have a pretty nice performance in their week number 1 win over XSV Justice. Was 10-2 on the Aphelios in the first game and 7-0 on Ash in the second game. But I definitely hear you that if he's not really able to get that lead, and Espada as well, if Syndicate aren't really able to take a strong start in the games in the early game, I definitely could see a world where Monkey's Business are kind of able to outperform them down the stretch. I know from talking to Storm that he's actually rating this Monkey's team pretty highly. I believe both of their solo laners are actually pretty highly rated. So in solo queue, so definitely could see them taking it. I just a little bit more familiar with the Syndicate players, Espada and Domination in particular. So that was really the thought process behind my prediction, and the fact that they were able to get the 2-0 last week, where it was a 2-1 victory for the Monkeys over XG Surprise, who I think is a team that most of us aren't rating super highly. So the fact that Monkeys
No,
did
not
lose
at all.
one game there is, oh, you do rate
I
them?
No, I was agreeing with you, and I don't really rate them highly at all. I mean, it's just a roster that kind of looks thrown together and just thrown into a league, hoping they do good. I mean, I think you have better players on your bench than you do starting right now. Um, it's going to be a fun series, definitely season to watch from them. But it's another team where I'm just like middle of the pack. I don't really have confidence in them making far. They'll probably just be a way for Iota to make it into a higher bracket or higher whatever. And yeah, I mean, I don't know what else to say about that kind of roster. You have way better people on the bench than you do starting.
Sorry, just which roster were you referring to there?
XG surprise.
Right, yes. Well, we'll see. We are actually running out of time already, guys, because we did have that little bit of a delayed start. We do have XSV Gluttony here versus Conduit Asylum. XSV Gluttony, I think we're all predicting to be, at least on paper, the strongest team in the league. So shouldn't be too surprising that we're all predicting them there. But let's take a moment to talk about our streamed matchup for this evening. Iceborn Kingdom versus Moonlight Spire. Two of us predicting Moonlight Spire. And then Zed, you did get in there with the Iceborn Kingdom prediction. So tell us about it.
Well, okay, so unfortunately, this is more so I know the people and I want them to win than I think they're going to win. I disagree with you saying that Gluttony is the best team in the league. I think
Okay.
Moonlight Spire is probably the best team in the league right now. I mean, almost all their players are kind of slept on. I think Eros is easily the best mid laner here, completely outclasses BKP currently and NBK and like anyone else. So OTF this game, I really hope he steps it up and can match Eros. Um, big OTF fan. Never will say I'm not. But otherwise, I just think Moonlight Spire have such a better team that they're gonna win the league. Clearly, they're my favorites to win the league.
Wow.
But can't not root for my friends at Iceborn.
Yeah, interesting. I believe for Moonlight Spire, it is the full top side. Top, jungle, and mid are the same three players that won Emerald Season 12, if I'm not mistaken. So definitely we know that, those guys have the ability to win championships. So I think that's a fair shout there, Zed. That we definitely could be underrating Spire a little bit. In their week one matchup, they did take, it was a 2-1 victory. They had some very long games, actually. There was, I believe, the last match to finish was Moonlight Spire finishing off XSV Envy 2-1. Two of those games going over 40 minutes, which I thought was pretty wild. But what are your thoughts on tonight's streamed matchup, Glor Snacks?
So I definitely think Spire is a really good team. I think the problem is that Iceborn dropped a game to Chosen Enters.
Yeah.
So because of that, I'm going with Spire. That's mostly my reasoning. Because
Just do you
either
feel
team
like
can win on depending on how their mood is. Honestly.
Yeah.
yeah, honestly, I was kind of surprised that you were highlighting, I believe you were highlighting the TSI match earlier as being possibly the hardest match to call out of this week. I kind of feel like it might be this one, but Zed, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I think you guys are kind of off of their reefer in
Okay.
thinking that this is probably the closest match to call this week. I don't think so at all. I think the closest match to call this week is definitely going to be Envy versus Iota. You have two amazing teams playing against
Okay.
each other. But back on the topic of your streamed game, I don't know. I think, like you guys said, Moonlight Spire are just going to take it. I wouldn't say it's my confidence is lesser in Iceborn Kingdom because they dropped a game to Chosen Enters. You can chalk that up to whatever you want. Bad day, whatever. It's just I think Moonlight Spire, like I said before, just outclasses everyone. Only place I can really have faith is support in mid for Iceborn.
All right. Well, that'll be fun to keep a magnifying glass on for myself then as I cast the match, see if support and mid for Iceborn can overcome what the Spire are going to be looking to show us on the Rift tonight. But, we still have a couple of minutes left. Do we want to talk about XSV Envy versus Dorado Iota? I mean, you're just calling that one out,
I
Zed, as
mean,
being the
yeah, of
hardest to
course.
call?
The other matches are all just like weird matches where it's the lower
Uh-huh.
teams playing lower. I mean, you can say whatever you want about those, but I mean, you have two amazing teams here in Envy and Iota. Envy have made the change to get rid of Sutek, and they are playing Silent Hearts tonight from what I've heard, what a change in the opposite direction of what I wanted. I
Mm.
mean, I seriously thought we had we were going to make the change in Volter. Because, like I said before, I think Volter definitely has some champ pool issues that are shown throughout half these games, but they're making it in Sutek. Whoa!
Yeah.
Here's hoping that Silent Hearts can somehow match Chucko, who has been known to apparently spawn camps out of nowhere to get 50 CS ahead of you. And then, I mean, you have NBK versus Canella, a really good matchup mid lane. Love watching Canella play. I think he's one of the better people here. That's probably my matchup to watch tonight for the stream. But overall, I think Iota are going to take it 2-1. Envy's definitely going to make them work for it. I think Mustard and Gremlin are just going to dominate bot lane. Envy has the significantly weaker bot. And then mid, 50-50. And then gotta always have faith in Cali G.
You got it, right? Glor Snacks, any thoughts on that matchup? Envy versus Dorado?
Yeah, I think this is an Iota 2-0. I
Mm.
think Envy, some of the players have been struggling lately, honestly. And when those players struggle, it's tough for you to keep your head in the game, right? When you're struggling against teams that in your mind aren't great, but you are still like getting hard blown out, it's really, really tough, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Do you have any thoughts specifically on that player swap, bringing in Silent Hearts?
I mean, that's what I've heard. I'm not sure if that's actually true. If
Okay.
that's true, that's that's just really funny. That's just like a really funny timeline, honestly.
Well, we'll have to
Uh,
see if it's going to help them get the win tonight. Definitely, I think a pretty tough opponent in Dorado Iota, but at least they've got Zed here with some faith that they can make it a competitive match. So that'll be fun to see those results as they come in. But guys, thank you very, very much for joining me for this week of Otter Talk. Just going to do some shout outs now. Glor Snacks, any shout outs you have, words for the stream? A shout out to your cat, perhaps?
yeah,
And or
so
wife?
my hold on, my rest of my predictions real rapid fire. I have XSG
Sure.
Justice winning. I have XG Surprise winning. Go Neela. Hashtag Neela winning. And then I have Mint Gaming Mafia over Chosen Interest, but either one of those teams could make it. And by the way, Iota, if you lose this week, do not show your face around the chats. You will be clowned.
I don't know. I think Iota kind of had the worst of luck of the draw here compared to a team like XSV Gluttony, who just grabbed Conduit Asylum and held them close so they can hold on to that free win. But I mean, you can't really put Dorado Gaming down for having uh, drawn better teams than what everyone else has. I mean, we wouldn't be saying this about Iota if they drew a team like Mint Mafia in the first round, or if they drew a team like Chosen Inters instead. But I think Iota, they're just doing what they always do. They're coming in, they're losing for a bit, and then somehow they're going to steamroll a bunch of teams. So I'm always just going to have faith in that because anytime I've made playoffs, Iota has kicked me out, and I can't take it anymore.
Yep.
So they're
Don't
scaling,
speak
is
ill
what you're
about your
telling me.
father.
Yeah, they're scaling. And then another quick shout out is just overall to the uh, XSV org and any other fan I have out there. Love you guys so much. It doesn't matter if I'm not rostered, if I'm still better than you in any capacity. You guys are just, for some reason, clowning on it because you can't say anything about your gameplay when you're playing this bad. I mean, BKP losing to Syndicate Shadow and Titan. What's there to talk about there? You flash in the wrong direction, you're getting too old. I mean,
Okay.
if you guys really have the space to talk about anything, how about you start winning more in other leagues and stop dropping games to lower tier teams? You can talk about beating me on many occasions, but you're losing now and I'm only winning. What's the difference?
All right. Well, fantastic. Hopefully, Zed, you've incited them to come on Otter Talk next week and respond. So I'm looking forward to that. But guys, thank you very much for joining me for this episode. We're going to go to a short break now, and when we come back, we'll have Iceborn Kingdom versus Moonlight Spire to break the tie 1-0. Only one of them can pick up the win.
Not another day, you're on borrowed time. Let me get away. Yeah, I'm running. Yeah, I'm running. So love me or leave me, I'm standing alone. Can't shake a feeling that lives 'Cause baby, when I'm gone for good. Everything falls apart. Sins are falling right through my heart. Yeah, walk away, don't look. Baby, when I'm gone, feel it rising up, then I push it down, saying you're in love. I could go without. Let me get away. It's over now. It's over now. So love me or leave me. I'm standing alone. Can't shake a feeling that lives in my bones. Lie to me, tell me you wish that you could, but nothing you gave me is worth what you took. Walk away, don't look. Baby, when I'm gone for good. Baby, when I'm gone for good. When everything falls apart, sins are falling right through my heart. Yeah, walk away, don't look. Baby, when I'm gone for good. Let me stay with you. You're not you. Just one night. I don't know about your life, but tell me 'cause we still have time. I can't say I can't help you, but do you feel the same, don't you? I think of you every moment. I think of you every moment. I can't say I can't help you, but do you feel the same, don't you? I think of you every moment. There's nobody else. Play it so slow. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Play it so slow. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna 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 turn it up and then I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Give it to me like I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Give it to me like I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. Play it so slow. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna take it down. I'ma turn it up and then I'm gonna 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 turn it up and then I'm
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are soon going to be getting underway with this Champion Select phase, the first game between Iceborn Kingdom and Moonlight Spire. Looks like Iceborn Kingdom going to be starting out on the blue side here, Storm. You know, both of these teams were able to get 2-1 victories in their round 1 matchups. What are your thoughts heading into this one?
I think this should be a pretty good series. I'm very much more on the Moonlight Spire side of things. I think this team's definitely one of the ones I really was watching. And I kind of said it at the beginning that I think they had upgraded their bot lane quite substantially. And that was kind of the weakness I thought of that team in Season 13. Because they won in Season 12.
Right.
So I think this team should be really good. I think Witch, from what we've been seeing of them, was a pretty good drafter, even in Premier, when we've been seeing them as the coach for the Spire team there. So, like, I think the Spire's kind of the favorites heading into this one for me. Iceborn Kingdom, though, does have, like, a lot of pretty big name players in kind of the Emerald division that, you know, OTF has been around forever, so easy. Is another Premier kind of shout out. We have Harmon Karn, kind of one of the best junglers in this kind of ELO area. So Iceborn I definitely think is going to make this close, but I'm just going to throw my own personal, like, I think it's a 2-1 for the Spire tonight. I do think this will go to a third game.
I'm pretty much right there with you, Storm. Like, you know, agreed on all counts. We were hearing from Zed on Otter Talk. He was really highlighting for the side of Iceborn Kingdom, OTF, and Retail Row there as, you know, players that he was really looking out for, players that he felt like were maybe some of the stronger performers on this team. But, you know, going up against Eros there in the mid lane on the side of Moonlight Spire, Eros had some great games last week, even in the game that the Spire did end up losing to XSV Envy. Eros was still performing pretty well in that game, was 11-7 on Azir in the loss. So, gonna be OTF having his work cut out for him tonight. And it seems like, you know, last week we had BKP versus NBK, and I feel like this week we might have another, you know, mid matchup that could end up deciding one or more of these games. Oh, we're getting started with the draft.
Oh, nice. We're starting in. So it is Iceborn on blue and the Spire on red.
Yep.
Okay.
On the
Perfect.
band first.
Yeah. Just kind of a couple of things, you know, patches coming in and stuff. I feel like the Doran's Win nerfs have been pretty big. I think melee mids, I think are falling in priority a little bit. Like the Silases and the Akalis of the world have gotten a little bit weaker. That's my major takeaway, I think, so far from this patch.
Yeah, yeah. There was, a couple of other changes that were pretty interesting. Graves having a pretty meaningful buff where he gets match
Yeah.
resist from the grit now. I feel like he might be a little bit back. And then there was another relatively big change. Gwen, I think. Was it
Yeah.
Gwen got pretty big
Yeah,
buffs, right?
Gwen had some of the changes reverted to them that that she's back to being more of the scaling monster, and they reverted some of her early game power a little. Thank God, by the way. I hated that champion and I still hate her, but at least you can now beat her in the early game. But that is an insta-lock Pantheon for Iceborn. I
Wow.
believe he did get his numbers adjusted as well. I think his damage to monsters went up a tiny little bit after the world's nerf.
Right. Yes, they did. It's not quite what it was for most of this season, but
Yeah.
he was like really heavily nerfed, and then they brought it back up like a little bit. So he's kind of, he's a little bit worse than he was. But I definitely don't rate him as highly right now as I do the Xin Zhao. So I feel like Witch and the side of the Spire are gonna be pretty happy with that trade, to be honest.
Yeah, that's kind of like the best pick, I think, in almost every way, right? Is Xin Zhao's kind of the premier jungler. We see him every game, basically, no matter what division or tier you're playing in. Just offers everything, right? He's engaged with the wind becomes lightning. He is disengaged with his ult. Such a powerful team fighting tool. He can skirmish really well. He can act as that pseudo frontline. I think Xin Zhao's really, really strong. Is a little interesting to be pairing that with the Syndra. Again, Syndra can follow up with the Xin Zhao, does have some damage to kind of go after, and has the scattered weak combos to set up into that 3 talent strike. But it is like a very burst heavy kind of thing that there isn't a lot of prolonged fighting that the two want to do. Whereas
That's
now
fair.
there's this Orianna and Pantheon, not kind of classic ball delivery. It's a lot of the time you see more like the Wukong or the Alistair or something, but Pantheon can still do it with a W bash, right? And do an Oriole. So, like that.
Yeah, I feel like both mid jungle combos honestly are pretty strong. So
Yeah.
we'll see if there's going to be some fireworks there. If the mid jungles do want to go for some 2v2s around the mid lane. Sion did come through there on B3 for Iceborn Kingdom, as we all know by now. Very meta pick at the moment. Very tough to overcome the Sion, but Synthwave is going to have the opportunity to go for a counter pick up there in the top lane. We do see the Smolder come through on R3 for Spire. And Bongo did have a pretty good game on the Smolder last week, was 11-4-9 in game number 1 versus XSV Envy last week.
Yeah. As much as I hate Smolder, he's good. I really think that he's in a good spot in the meta right now. He just scales so incredibly well, and his early game isn't too shabby anymore. Is quite good in pretty much most comps. Again, just most of what the Spire right now have on draft is very flexible, right? They have burst damage from Syndra, they have some skirmishing potential, but this team can still go in any way, right? They can lock in their own tank and go for pure 5v5s. They can go for more of a pick comp, right, with the long range kind of slows from Smolder setting up into things like Xin Zhao knockups and Syndra scatters. Their comp's really open. Iceborn, I think, is a little bit more dedicated, that they're playing 5v5, that I'm expecting they're going to take some sort of hyper carry to match the Smolder and probably a Jinx or something along those lines. But round 4 here, probably going to take another tank in the top lane, unless they want to take some sort of spicy counter pick. Darius, Set, things like that are up and can really dismantle Sion, but it is something your team has to play for. Mordekaiser, okay.
Kaiser for Mr. Danny Phantom up there in the top lane. But yeah, the Lucian and Corki bans for Spire are very interesting, because I definitely agree, Storm. I feel like for the side of Iceborn Kingdom, they do have the makings of a really strong teamfight composition. So I would expect more of a hyper carry in the 80 carry position for them to lock in here. So we'll see what they decide to go for. The Jinx, I think, definitely a good shout. There's things like the Zeri still available. Oh, the Yunara, of course. How could we forget?
Right. Newest ADC, so that must be the best one, right? Most things in the kit.
Yeah, and Koopa there for Iceborn Kingdom was 6-0-8 on the Yunara in game number 2 last week. Win over Chosen Inters.
Yeah. Think it's pretty solid, especially against Mordekaiser, right? With that ult running, you can kind of duel him in the death realm, which is one of the worries always when you're locking your AD carry in. Um, as far as like this top lane matchup goes, of like Mordekaiser into Sion, it is pretty heavily push favored. It's, you know, similar of the Mordekaiser into Ornn, but you can't really as easily dismantle the kind of like ult thing, right? It's much harder to stop the Scion. It should be just winning and Mordekaiser is push basically forever in this lane. Once, you know, Scion gets his Hollow Radiance and things like that, should be able to kind of get some pushback, but I'm guessing it's going to be pressure top for the Spire this whole game.
Yeah, that would make sense. Given, you know, that they do have the counter pick there, but I think your point is good that the Scion is probably still going to be able to have potentially a big impact in the team fights, despite the fact that he's going to struggle in the lane against the Mordekaiser. But you get a couple of pretty standard supports here to round things out, so both sides going to be happy to go for some team fights here in this game number 1.
Yeah, both sides just kind of leaning into this whole team fight comp, that's the meta right now, is you want to fight as much as you can and fight often. I think Iceborn's comp is a lot better towards the mid game. It's easy to say, right, that the Pantheon is very much spikes very heavily. Orianna as well, you know, kind of with that one item, whereas the Syndra and Smolder definitely gives Moonlight some very much needed late game. This Alistair pick, I think it's just, you know, responsive to Leona. You know, the Zenith played in, you punt away the ADC. Nothing really there. I think Thresh might have been a better angle, but I guess the team needs some actual engage as well when you have Mordekaiser in the top lane. So the Alistair does make sense. But as far as like individual comps go, I think it's a team fighting game and the enemy team has carries that scale harder than yours. So I think Moonlight have a better draft.
Yeah, fair enough. It's definitely, I think, a tough one to call, though, between these two compositions. You know, they are mirrored in a lot of ways, as we've already discussed. I do really actually like the Alistar here, I think, as opposed to the Thresh. I think having a little bit more beef on the front line makes sense because, you know, Mordekaiser is obviously going to be in a different realm for half the fight, and the Alistar is going to be a little bit more able to tank Scion ultimates or like disengage from the Pantheon and that sort of thing, as opposed to something like the Thresh would be able to do. So definitely, I think a pretty well-rounded draft on both sides. What do we think about the mid lane matchup is Orianna Syndra. I mean, it's like a season 4 throwback. You've seen this so many times.
Yeah. I mean, again, it is technically Syndra favored, I believe, right? That
A little bit more range, I think. Yeah.
And you can like, it's like Ori and Syndra are like the two champions in the league where like you don't have as much of like casting. There's no like buffers in your things. That's why they're so broken in Earth, right? Is like you can always move while you're using all your abilities on these champions.
Right.
So I don't think that like there should be any huge like fireworks in the mid lane. I think the really interesting part is like whose jungler affects this more, because both these champions are really susceptible to ganks, right? Especially Ori, when you take the ball off of yourself when you're trying to like push aggressively, your base armor and magic resistances go down so much. So if you're able to catch them out, you know, with the ball out and then slam down all of your burst, you can get some really surprising kills. Pantheon though has like much easier access to ganks. I think especially with like the speed ups and everything from Ori. So I'm thinking Iceborn is going to be the ones actually looking for something. I'd be kind of shocked if Pantheon goes for like the standard full clear meta thing. I think you kind of have to in some ways get, you know, that early gank, you know, whether it's level 3 and push into Xin Zhao and try and get, you know, a steal, or if it's the, you know, let's burn flash somewhere. As far as level 1s, do you think there's going to be anything going on? Because I don't really think so. I think it's a 5-point.
Yeah, I feel like it's pretty tricky for either side to find anything at level 1. The strongest level 1 champion in this game is probably Scion. But it's not like Scion's going to be able to hard force something with only one ability. So, you know, you can stand as a bush in Scion and like channel a Q, but I don't see any reason why Moonlight Spire are going to be face checking any of these Iceborn Kingdom bushes at level 1. So, yeah, I think a Any kind of really early action is pretty unlikely. But I do think it's a pretty good shout to suggest that the Pantheon would like to find something relatively early, just because you're playing against the Smolder specifically, right? It always feels like you're kind of on a clock in games against champs like the Smolder. So where do you think the Pantheon? What angle might we be looking for as the Pantheon here to try to get that early advantage?
My kind of thought process is do your blue side, and after your blue side is done, go for a mid lane drive-by gank. The only point of this mid lane drive-by gank would be to get a flash out from this Syndra, then complete your bot side, and after you're doing your re-clear, just look for ganks again, and you can take Leona to cut her off if she starts playing towards the other side of the lane or something like that. I think that's what I would be looking at. I think top side, you are never ever going up there, and you're gonna like wave to your Scion and go, yeah, have fun being blind picked. Enjoy yourself. You get to play the next game if we're on red side. But like, I think bot lane, it's pretty hard to do anything as well, right? Alistar is a very good bodyguard. Like, unless he's initiating, you're probably not going to be able to get like clean engages, and Smolder can always use the flap, I think is the name of his E, right? Or you can like get over, and you can use it to like get over walls, right? So I feel like as long as Smolder's like playing towards that like big ass, I don't know, towards the brush, right, that he can always flap over it and get like under his tower. I'm guessing Yunara and Leona are going to be the ones with push as well, so it's more covering them, I guess, from a 3v3. But I think early on the 3v3 should be winning for Iceborn.
Yeah, I mean, there's always the chance that you can catch the Smolder and the Alistar while they're trying to push out the wave, right? But the Yunara, I think, is because of the way that her Q works, right, with the bounces. I feel like she's probably going to be getting the push pretty consistently during the laning phase. So, yeah, I agree. Pretty unlikely that the Pantheon's going to be able to find anything down there. But, yeah, I don't know if there's really too much else to say about these drafts. We've already gone over our predictions. You've already highlighted you think the Spire are maybe slightly favored in this game number one just because their carries scale a little bit better, right?
Yeah, I think so. The one thing I will mention is, again, Iceborn's mid game is a lot better, right? Their mid game spike is a lot higher. So if they're able to use that to secure Atacon or something like that, that can just blow the game out of the proportion, right? I think I was looking at Worlds or something. Somebody was going through Worlds data that the team that takes Atacon has won every single game except 2 of them at Worlds.
Wow, that is an
which is like
stat.
Yeah, it's like absolutely insane how broken Atacon is. It gives like the same amount of like combat like of gold as like Baron, basically. It's crazy. So if teams are able to play for that and like able to utilize Iceborn, that like pressure and getting those flowers and that level lead and stuff, it definitely gives them that like opportunity to like win before Smolder and Syndra are fully online. When before Smolder has, his third item and is at, the Elder Dragon point, before Syndra has the Execute unlocked and things like that. Like Scion, with Scion and Pantheon and Orianna, like you can force super duper hard if you're able to get a lead. So I'm on the watch for that, but I don't think it's going to be a very impactful early game. I think there's going to be a lot of farming, to be honest with you.
Yeah, definitely could see that happening. We'll have to see if Iceborn Kingdom, there's some doubts starting to circulate about this team after they dropped 1 game to the Inters last week. We'll see if they can utilize the mid-game spike of this composition to take control over this game number 1, or if the Midnight Spire, the Season 12 champions, are going to be off to a strong start here in the second week of the season. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back with the first game of the night.
people feeling like the light has just come. We must never stop the way, yeah. Cause jumping and I hear my name, grasping into a life. Life is happy but it's so insane. We must merely make a start. Savannah, I'm coming home.
All right, folks, welcome on to the Rift, our first game of the night. Iceborn Kingdom starting off on the blue side and the Midnight Spire on red. Let's see if we are going to get that relatively quiet early game that we are expecting. Certainly at least the 5 points to start out here, Storm.
Yeah, doubt we're going to see anything, especially with how defensive everyone is being. Maybe we see Harmon try and look for that early ward on the enemy Raptors or something like that, but I think that's going to be the only thing of, note this early game. Oh,
All right, looking for the Raptor ward now. And there it is.
and there it is.
Not answered just yet by the Spire. Doesn't look like they'll necessarily be able to get over there. Bongo thinking about flapping over, but Codis, aka 6'7", standing guard.
Yeah, I mean, it is interesting to me that Pantheon is starting on his red side. It looks like he is standing over at his Raptors. Oh, nope, gonna start on red buff instead. Whatever, not cycling as much. Maybe that means he actually is going to go for one of these more aggressive style clears or something. As far as like summoner spells or runes, I don't think there's really anything of note. It is cleanse on Smolder, which kind of makes sense. Summoner spellbook. Yeah, that's a little interesting, I guess, but at the same time, to me, it's like kind of standard almost now for supports that you generally do that. It did get nerfed, but I think it's still correct in a lot of situations, especially when you're playing as a melee support.
Yeah, I think that's pretty fair. The only other thing that I could have maybe considered for the Alistar this game is Glacial. I feel like, Bongo, a lot of damage as the level 2 coming through first for Yunara and Leona. So that is Codis able to find the engage, and that's going to be the early cleanse out from the Smolder.
Yeah, already not great going for some people. We see Scion is getting pushed in already by Danny Phantom up here, aka Synthwave. We'll still call him Danny, I think, for the rest of this, unless you have something else you want to call him. Yeah.
Nah,
all right.
Sounds good to me.
Well, yeah, we do see Pantheon is looking right now, and Witch is here in the mid lane.
Yeah, in comes the Pantheon. Flash stun is there, OTF. And that's the flash away for Eros. So Summoner burned. Actually, the flash for the Xinjiao as well. So 2 for 1 flashes. Iceborn Kingdom going to be happy about that one.
Yeah, Witch, I think, flash to try and get that win becomes lightning. I think that's the name of the spear coming out to try and land that, so he could land the audacious charge onto Harmon, but just wasn't able to connect with it.
Yeah.
Is our Mordekaiser about to get
level down? Death's Grasp, pretty good for the disengage. Surprising that Danny up there would be losing out to the Scion, but
yeah.
Oh, easy, doing a good job so far, I suppose.
I think we got hit by a Scion standing in the bush and fully charged a Q-Tech.
Lucky.
Yeah.
Well, the wave is coming in at least for the Mordekaiser, so he's going to be able to equalize the XP. Another Q going to land that one time, only connecting onto a shield, and so easy going down very low. But Danny had the abilities on cooldown. That is a punt under a tower. Codis, though, able to walk it off. Heal expended there for the Leona for a little bit of extra move speed. Get out from underneath the turret. Which now, here in the Tri-Brush, going to be able to dash forward, and that's going to be the flash out from the Leona, slowed up by the lightning. The wind did become it, and now Codis surely going to be going down here. Tries to taxi over towards the Alistar, but it is indeed going to be the first blood, and they give it over to Bongo on the Smolder. Great news for the Spire.
Yeah, that's pretty tragic timing now for Codis, right? Knew that they were going to be looking for that push-up Yunara, just wanting to get some extra coverage, and just falls victim to the witch gank. See Pantheon kind of starting to clear down. Be interesting to see where he decides he's going to take himself back. Is he going to go after Eros in the mid lane? We see Kotis already moving as well. But Eros is pushed in right now. I don't know what this Leona roam is for.
Yeah, and Koopa down here, the wave coming in towards the Yunara right now. Koopa playing respectfully, but probably would be able to fight if he did have a support there. So yeah, a little bit surprising that Kotis wanted to go for that little vacation away from the bot lane. Leona returning now. Danny Phantom going to find the E onto So Easy. And gets off a decent trade there. But So Easy, honestly, given about as good as he was taken.
Yeah,
Early
nothing
Dark
really
Steel.
going.
Oh, that's
That's
another
quite a call
charge
out.
Q in the bush. Level 6, though, for Danny. Puts the Scion into the Death Realm. And now that's the flash forward for the Mordekaiser and should be able to finish off this kill. And there it is. That's 2 on the board now for the Spire. Solo kill for Danny. Looked a little bit scary for a moment there, but clearly he knew he was close to level 6. Had it all planned out.
Yeah. And that's not a good death. That isn't one of those deaths that you're happy to take as Scion, where you're able to absorb something and get most of a wave. Do see Scion roaming down bot lane. He does have ult, and Harman Karn's only level 4. Are they just sending it for this dragon fight? Or no, we're swapping. It's Yunara going top lane.
Yeah, very interesting. Pretty early swap. Yeah, I mean, Smolder Alistar. This is very confusing. I mean, the Smolder's just going to be able to farm for free now against the Scion, no?
Yeah, he just free stacks on him, right? This sounds horrible. I mean,
Yeah.
I guess. And like, once Mordekaiser is ult, doesn't he just ult Yunara and try and kill her? Like,
I would think so. I wonder if the thought process was actually just like, So Easy's just got solo killed. Let's immediately get him out of this lane. Or obviously the Mordekaiser is like a counter pick into the Scion, so it's tough for So Easy to play. But I don't think this is ultimately a very good trade-off. But we'll see how it goes.
yeah, I mean, Scion also like has built MR. Like, he was building to fight against Mordekaiser. It's not like this guy has a Sunfire cape to like help him CS or something right now.
Danny doesn't have the ultimate back quite yet. In goes Kotis with the Zenith Blade. And Danny Phantom in so much trouble does get off the shield. Oh, and that's going to be a couple of torch shots onto Koopa, who does have to flash out from underneath the tower. So at least both summoners burn for the AD carry, but a pretty clean dive overall from Iceborn.
That was flash and barrier as well. So both summoners going out from Koopa there. Seeker is not in vision right now for OTF.
Okay, the Shockwave is going to connect, but the Alistar combo is not really where we wanted it to be.
Yeah,
and now the Pantheon only level
Harman's
5
gonna
still
die,
is
isn't
level
he?
down on the enemy support at the moment, which is a bit suboptimal.
Yeah, I would say it's maybe a little bit concerning. I think that means you are ready to go hit these grubs, right? And that should be like the benefit of having your top laner up here. We do see Kotis looking for something on this Leona as well towards the mid lane, but Bongo's just free stacking onto So Easy here. It should just be Smolder
very
like
comfy for the Smolder.
Oh, yeah.
And Danny, back from the Death Chamber, able to help Witch take down those Void Grubs. Looking like all 3 of those are going to be going over. And now we're going to be 1 neutral objective and 1 kill away from the Spire securing those feats of strength. We'll see about that. Kotis here. Waiting to see. There's nobody able to follow up on a potential engage right now. So Arrow's going to be able to safely complete the recall. And Haman does now have access to the Grand Starfall. So hopefully he's going to be able to find an opportunity soon. We're still a little ways out from the mid game, but the Spire off to an early lead with the scaling comp is very
Koopa
concerning.
walked
Koopa
up.
gonna get flashed on, does have the dash, but the headbutt pulverized works out this time around for Seeker. The knockup is there from the 3 Talon Strike, and Danny Phantom pulls back in the Yunara. That's gonna be kill number 1 for Witch, and kill number 3 for Moonlight.
Yeah, this is turning out really, really bad already. That's quite a lead getting generated. Like, sure, it's only like 800 gold, but you have grubs and you have the first dragon of the game. Like, that's such a big lead, I feel already. I mean, Harman Karn has just been absolutely like invisible this game, right? He got his one flash play on mid, and it seems to have just completely destroyed his tempo.
Yeah,
Did
remember it was the
Alistair
first
see him?
pick
Yeah, they're
Pantheon as
pinging on
well.
him right now.
Yeah, they did. They did see him. The top side camps for the Pantheon are up, so which could go for the cross map, but they want to look for the punish here instead. Haman, though, is going to be
Yeah.
able to back away in time. Doesn't get the blue buff, but doesn't get collapsed on.
Yeah, I mean, Witch is back here. It looks like he's just going to be able to defend all of his camps and everything. Oh,
Ooh,
Arrows, you
pulled
know
in by the
Pantheon's
shockwave.
there,
There's the
man.
shield vault. Yeah, Arrows definitely should have known. That wave was coming in as well, so the Syndra definitely could have just waited under the tower. But a little bit of an overstep. Uncharacteristic for the Spire mid laner, but very good
Yeah.
news for Iceborn Kingdom. Able to get a kill for their Orianna.
Yeah, I think that should be big. I mean, I'm just waiting to see the kind of grand starfall. Okay, this is a little bit of a chunk that's so easy he's going to get here.
Whoa, that's a big old chunk. Half of Mordekaiser's health bar from 1QW. Death's Grasp there is pull in the Scion, and Pongo now in trouble. The cleanse is there and tries to flash away. He's going down so low. Mom, though, does come out, gives a little bit of a heal to the little Smolder. Now
Koopa's
Witch in
gonna
there,
live,
trying to
isn't
get
he?
one more knock up, and Koopa dashes away, kites out. The Jin Zhao Seeker, though, finds the combo over the wall. Bongo has recovered
No one
a
can
decent
follow
amount of health.
this.
Eros moving down on the Syndra, finds the scatter onto Codis. The Leona, healthy enough, I think, to make it back into the tower, does have to burn the flash. Was worried about another pulverize coming out from Seeker. So a couple of summoners burned there, but we're all tied up now, 4-4, and both top laners are dead. Interesting.
Yeah, and they both burned flash. I think Scion ulted and killed him and then died to the zombie form of Scion, it looks like to me. And as Scion, that's fantastic, right? Like, you're supposed to be like hard losing this matchup. So to be going even, you have a CS lead because of that dive that your team was able to give you. The lanes are back, so I think that was just them going, hey, our Scion's going to be this little bit weaker for this point, and man, so easy, kind of showing off, getting some of these big full charge skews. I thought this was going to be a really big strength for Danny in the top lane here, but hasn't been.
Yeah, Danny now definitely a little bit on the back foot as staring down that completed Hollow Radiance now for So Easy's Scion, and yet to complete his first item on the side of Danny Phantom, but should be able to recover. We do see this dragon going over to Iceborn Kingdom as well, so they're able to tie up that dragon count at 1-1. Smolder completed the Essence Reaver off the base there, returning to lane to pick up that minion wave.
Yeah, does have that done. Yunara
Ooh,
also has this
in
Kraken,
trouble
but
as
this
the
should be a
engage comes out from Codis, and no cleanse this time for Bongo. Mom does come out, but not going to be able to save the Smolder this time around, and that is number 2 for the Yunara.
Okay, so mid game is starting to pick back up. We're able to get this first Drake as well. Able to get that Chemtech Drake. Don't think anyone on your team really likes that, but that's whatever.
Yeah, I mean, Scion's shields are going to be a little bit bigger, and Orianna has a shield as well.
Yeah, yes, that's fair.
Look at
Oh.
that shield.
Yeah,
So big.
it's so large.
Oh, but then it fell off, and then he got pulled in by Danny Phantom. That's going to be another obliterate.
Yeah.
And 2 plates taken off of that top lane tier 1 already for the Mordekaiser. So, in a pretty decent spot still. Does now have the Riftmaker done.
Should make it so that any long trades now are entirely in Mordekaiser's favor, right? As Scion, you're just looking for these really short trades. If you're able to land these kind of cheeky Q knockups onto Danny, I really want to see Danny just like pull this wave and just like force Mordekaiser to like miss CS. Like, just set up a freeze, man. What the hell is Scion gonna do?
Yeah.
I mean, there's 3 minutes on Dragon or anything. So, like, I feel like this is the time where you can just, like, deny farm away from this guy. Like, you're only making him miss a couple CS.
And Danny is actually still down in experience, as we can see. Only level 10 still. To So Easy's level 11. The Scion already getting a little bit large. So, yeah, feels like Danny maybe not optimizing the matchup as much as he could, potentially. But still in a decent place for now. We just really have to look out as we are now approaching the mid game. And this next dragon fight, in 2.5 minutes could end up being pretty big. If the side of the Spire win it, then they're going to be feeling, I think, in a really good position. But this is when we're expecting and hoping to see Iceborn Kingdom start to build up a little bit of momentum, right?
Yeah. I mean, it is Hextech Soul, right? The Hex Gates are out on the
Headbutt
map.
Bold on
I'll hold
Dakotas.
that thought.
Gonna be another knock up there onto the Leona Solar Flare. Very nice onto 2. And Dakotas, Mom coming out, dashing in as Witch gets the kill. A couple of turret shots, though, for his trouble. And Yunara here, he tries to flash right, but the Shockwave pulls the Xin Zhao back in. And eventually the Crescent Guard will fall. It'll be the flash out for Seeker as well. The Grand Starfall, though, gonna cut off the escape route. And that's gonna be a killing spree for Koopa. Nicely played by Iceborn Kingdom to turn that one around. They get the 2-for-1.
Yeah, I mean, I think that felt like a little bit of an overchase, especially when you're diving under that tier 1 tower, when you know that all of the summoners are up in this game. That should be this Herald, I believe, that is open, getting taken now for the side of Iceborn. And Koopa is really, really strong right now, right? They are the one to be looking at, and it's going to I don't know if Mordekaiser, with how behind he is going to win anymore in the Death Realm with how accelerated this Yunara is. I think they're going to be 2 items by this time this dragon fight rolls around in a minute here.
Oh, yeah, not too much time. But that would certainly be massive for Iceborn if the Yunara can get up towards that second item. Should be sitting on a decent amount of gold right now. But it is time to start setting up for the objective. We see Witch in the river right now, securing the Scuttle Crab. That's going to be a nice benefit for the side of the Spire if they do decide to fight for this one.
Yep.
There's that second item done.
Yeah, I'm just really wondering how you do this as the Spire, if you fight for this or not, because it's look like they're gearing for it. I mean, Mordekaiser is top, but does have this TP available to him. So Easy does not on the Scions. That is something really big for you. And I think this top lane tower is about to go down, so...
Okay, so that is the feat of first turret now for the Spire. And they did get the feat of Warfare as well. So that's the feats of strength actually already secured. And they could absolutely just give up this dragon if they would like to. Catching the wave in mid right now. We do see the Pantheon still holding on to the Rift Herald.
Yeah, I really do think they should get this up, but they're not going to. They're fighting for this.
Dakotas a little bit isolated off on the side right now as Leona tries to clear out some of this vision. Everybody just kind of standing around at the moment. Nobody willing to be the first on towards the objective. Iceborn just playing for the mid-prio.
The NA RAM itself is here. We know it and love it.
We do. We are all too familiar.
Yeah. But bot lanes, okay, here's something.
They're going to come out on a bongo. That is going to get the cleanse out from the Smolder, but Witch is there with the Crescent Guard to disengage, keep the 80 alive. The Shockwave is amazing from OTF, gets all 3 of them, and that's the team fight right there. Danny has teleported in, able to trade back 1, and now it's put Haman Karn into the Death Realm. He's going to be able to get 2 here as the Mordekaiser, but as he exits,
going to get another kill.
Is so strong. Just finishes him off, and now Eros, the only survivor, trying to clear out this minion wave, and we'll be able to at least defend the tower, but that's going to be the team fight win, plus the dragon for Iceborn Kingdom. Or, well, their jungler died, actually, so I guess not going for the dragon.
Eros.
And another nice scatter, the unleashed power onto OTF, but it's not enough damage from the Syndra just yet, and Eros just gave him another one.
Yeah, I don't think he had realized that as Saris had fully ticked over, the stacking up from the Archangels, he used that unleashed power, but just got eaten by that Saris shield, right, that we saw there. Oh, that's really, really bad. I don't think Witch can now do this anymore. I don't think he has any time to get this dragon, so we're just going to take the Scuttle instead. Probably smites it here. Yeah, and that's a call. Why is Danny here? There's no way you guys are fighting
another alley-oop for Kotis towards the turret, but it's Leona. She's very tanky, doesn't really mind the straight turret shot. And we did see the double teleport come out from the Iceborn solo laners as well to get back out onto the map. And with the Herald in mid as well, is going to be able to take down that tier 1. Good work, Shelly. And now complete control here over the river for Iceborn. They should be able to get this dragon, no problemo.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Koopa is about to run over this game. This guy
Yeah,
is
he's in a
so
great spot.
accelerated on this Yunara that unless Eros is able to land like scatters, I don't think he has almost anything he has to worry about.
Yeah, I mean, he's going to have 3 items done by 25 minutes. 25 minutes. That's a really quick pace.
Yeah. And Bongo, if we can just get that quick kind of smolder check, I don't think is like anywhere close. Yeah,
170 is
170.
not bad.
And yeah,
I've seen a lot worse.
for sure. Oh,
So they're still
but
scaling for the side of the Spire, but yeah, this Yunara is definitely going to be a massive problem. And that last Shockwave in that team fight for OTF was amazing as well.
and Danny doesn't seem to be winning this 1v1 hard enough anymore, which is a problem. Because
I mean, it's item advantage for the Scion again there. As we can see, 2 items done for so easy.
yeah, as Mordekaiser, you basically just want this game to be a 4v4, right? You just don't. If Scion isn't in these fights and you're not in these fights, I think that's good for your team. I think the 4v4 for your team is better than the 5v5 is. So
Yeah, that would make
if you can,
sense.
if you can just drag Scion and just keep him with you this entire game and like, build like towards the like complete 1v1 items, get your Rylai's, build a Nashor's Tooth, something like that. I think that's the way to play it, but we'll have to see. Pretty sure Eros is going for this build. I
the
really
solar
hate.
flare for to set up the play. That's going to be the shield vault onto the Syndra. Haman Karn. There's that last little bit of damage from OTF. Takes down the Spire mid laner. And now that could be the go signal on the Otacon, although Iceborn did use a decent amount to get that kill. Orianna ult and Leona ult. So they're just going to be happy with the pick for now. Go and spend their gold.
Yeah. No real reason for them to rush it, right? Not like the enemy team has any way to kind of quickly take this objective. Smolder unstacked isn't necessarily going to provide that much, and Zinzao with this Brooder build going for that Sundered Sky, as almost every jungler seems to, doesn't offer you that much like innate damage as opposed to something like a Trinity for doing objectives.
Yeah, definitely true. So Iceborn Kingdom content with their position in this game for now. Koopa still building towards that 3rd item. Still a little ways away, it seems. And the next dragon in a couple of minutes. It's a Hextech soul this game, so that's going to be important for us to keep in mind as well. The side of Moonlight Spire are really going to want to deny that 3rd dragon from going over if at all possible.
Yep. New guy just seems to be the name of the game right now, though. I mean, with 2 minutes till this dragon comes up, we almost see no vision is kind of down towards that. Danny just has kind of, those blue wards that he's dropped. And that seems to be the only vision that the Spire has towards this. They're putting all of their focus and all of their wards towards the stop side of the Atacon.
Yeah, some pretty defensive, or no, that's actually the side of the Iceborn Kingdom wards. They have some pretty deep ones in that top side jungle. Really felt like potentially they were looking to set up an Otacon themselves, but pulled the trigger on that.
Okay, so minute 30 till this next dragon. Let's take stock. There's full sums on both of our carries for the side of Iceborn, right? Yunara has flash, his barrier. Orianna also has her flash, basically as barrier because her Seraph's shield is up as well. Smolder as well has flash and cleanse. So basically every important summoner spell is up this game. So it's in this next minute. Can you get something, right? Can you blow a flash or anything like that? I don't think it's going to happen, especially with Syndra on the opposite side of the map, probably getting her reset in now so that she can join her team and try and establish their vision. I don't think there's like any big mid priority that any team's going to get. Koopa gets like hit the wave first, but like Smolder's just going to clear it just as easily. Don't really think Mordekaiser wants to be matched up against this Orianna right now either. Can't just like alter her into the Death Realm and kill her from 100 to 0 with the Seraphs and everything being done and with having that phase rush as well. So I don't really know what Danny's going to do because like Mordekaiser is going to struggle, whereas I think So Easy is perfectly fine to sit in the Syndra's face. We see Witch coming up.
Oh dear, Witch trying to flash there to get in front of the Scion ultimate, but can't quite find the angle. So the train will be on its way, not going to fall victim to the bandits this time around. And now that is a big tool, the flash off the Xin Zhao. It's Dragon coming up. It is alive now, but both these teams still just playing towards the top side. Koopa is, the longer that the Spire wait, I mean, the Yunara is going to have that third item really, really soon now. Doesn't have it quite yet, but okay, it could be an Otacon start now. Seeing some pings come out onto it for Iceborn Kingdom. But again, the Spire, well, Witch has actually moved towards the bottom side. It looks like they're actually going to give... Oh, now
There's
the
double
teleports are
TP.
coming out, though. Come on, Karn moving over as he's going to stun up some Mordekaiser, but a nice scatter onto 2 coming out from Arrow. Heals for the top laner. Otacon still leashed, down to about half.
Yeah.
And Witch is on the
gone.
Dragons, so the Otacon is just going to get taken. Smite is good from Haman, gets the objective. It is going to be traded for the second Hextech Dragon, but I feel like Iceborn Kingdom going to be pretty happy with that one.
Yeah, especially if they had this 5-stack going, they should be able to get like 2 towers here. I don't know if Syndra is able to step up like this. Like OTF should have so much protection right now, but the rest of his team's really worried about this mid push, I guess, from Bongo and Witch.
Yeah, they're not going to be in time, though, to defend this tower, and some recalls getting delayed here by Danny and Eros. And so the mid-tier one is going to go down, and that makes the trade a little bit more even. It is about a 3,000 gold lead at the moment for the side of Iceborn Kingdom, and there is the value... Oh, scatter onto So Easy, but he has the ultimate back again. So he's just going to charge away from that one.
Yeah, very much a case of deja vu there. Just taking that train ride back again. Seemed like from the same spot to me as well, almost, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But, kind of stock is like, I feel like as both teams, you're kind of happy with that in some ways. Like that mid tower going down is so big for the side of Spire, just because it means for the next dragon fights, right? The enemy team just doesn't have that like point of protection, and you're able to like actually get some deep wards and things like that, and you're able to push further to set things up. And yeah, for the side of Iceborn, that's everything you want, and like the way to push this game, right? I'm wondering now with Koopa having these 3 items done, if you just send it.
The Smolder does have the cleanse, and we do have Witch here to play bodyguard for the AD carry once again, pushes them back. Koopa is chunked quite low. Haman still dashing forward. Seeker able to, and Witch able to disengage that fight. Bongo did have to burn both summoners, though.
Yeah, trade of just barrier, right? Koopa keeps his flash on that one as well. Just was able to use that ult leap forward to get that positioning onto the Smolder. Didn't have to burn his own flash. And yeah, now it's that case of how on earth is Bongo going to stay alive in this fight, right? With Pantheon Grand Starfall coming back up, Sion being able to charge in onto you. It's just going to be to see if Witch and Seeker can just play bodyguard for him.
Yeah, definitely. They have been doing a pretty decent job of it so far. There is also like the Syndra scatter, or if Mordekaiser is there, then he can ult one of the diving members as well. So the Spire, they definitely have a lot of tools to try to keep their Smolder alive. That absolutely will, I think, be the determining factor in these upcoming fights, if they can accomplish that or not.
Yeah, because I believe our Smolder has fully stacked, or like has gotten to the stack point that matters, right? He has the execute unlocked.
He should have it. Yeah, he does.
Yeah, 250.
Right. Well, Baron is now alive. Nobody really playing aggressively towards it just yet. Spire with some decent vision in the area to scout out any potential moves over here for Iceborn. And Iceborn really kind of being difficult. They are doing a pretty good job of sending the Orianna to match the Mordekaiser. Whenever they see Danny, they're kind of able to keep the Scion out of that matchup. So easy. We can see unanswered in the bot lane right now. Eros really doesn't want to go over there because he can't do anything at all to that Scion. So now Danny moving down. Going to have the teleport back soon as Iceborn look to start up the Nasher, which suspects something is up immediately, though. Comes on over. Does have a blast cone to work with and his flash as well. And Iceborn, they're just going to peel off it.
Yeah, they're just gonna peel off, and they got low enough that I don't know if they want to like pull the trigger and engage, right? If they want to go for that Grand Starfall into something. There's only a minute as well until this next dragon comes up, so they just gotta look to pop Bongo, I guess, right? I mean, I feel like you want so easy there if you're gonna try and start this Baron, just to let him sit there in front of it, because he doesn't really take any damage from it, having all this healing and everything built in. But that's all this ward coverage getting denied now. So that's a huge step again and a big win for the Spire. I don't know if there's enough pressure coming out right now. It's all going to depend on this next drag to me. And Koopa is getting looked at. Seeker did swap over to Ghost and burn it to try and maybe get something from Yunara, but we do see Kotis is here.
Yeah. Notably, Bongo does have his third item done now as well. So the 80 carries, you know, Koopa does have the extra component, but both on 3 items for this potential team fight. Danny Phantom, also level 16. And 3 items also done on the Mordekaiser. Unstoppable Onslaught going to come out. Connects onto Seeker, but the Decimating Smash is denied as Arrow's able to kite back. Danny Phantom right into the thick of things.
Yeah, he's
still have the Death
not
Realm
gonna
available.
ult
Is going to
anybody.
cast it. I believe he used it onto Koopa there, or no, he's got So Easy
No, so
in the
easy
Death
in
Realm.
the Death Realm.
So both top laners going to be coming out here. Koopa are able to get that first kill onto
the
the Alistar.
shockwave
Look at
from
the Yunara
OTF.
here, but the Smolder is stacking, looking to execute people. Bongo still full HP, but it's a triple kill for the Yunara. And it's a 3 versus 2 now. Iceborn Kingdom with the man advantage. They look to kite back towards the dragon. That's a nice scatter though onto OTF. Unleashed Power though has already been used, and Koopa coming back over, takes down the Cinder, but Bongo trades it back onto the Yunara. And I think we're just going to be going again here, Storm.
Yeah, I think so, but this is incredible for the side of the Moonlight Spire, right? Bongo and Syndra are just getting to stay in this fight and keeping kills up. Like, I'm really... Bongo, you see this teleport, right? Okay,
Yeah,
good.
Sees it.
It's 2 people, buddy.
It still might be a problem, as the ball does cut off his escape path. He's trying to flap over to the other side of the Orianna, but that's not going to work out, as So Easy was there with the smash, and with Smolder down, then never mind. It's just going to be a free dragon for Iceborn.
Yeah, with Smolder down, you never ever contest this anymore. This is now 4th item done for Koopa, whereas we see it's just this last Whisper component now getting picked up for Smolder.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we did need the Smolder to react a little bit quicker there to the teleport. And then the attempted escape route flying over the Orianna, I think, was a bit questionable as well.
I don't know if he ever saw the Scion. I think he just saw Orianna from that, right? And just went, oh, I can kill this guy, and then got hit by that Decimating Smash.
Yeah, could be. That might have been the thought process.
Yeah.
Regardless, though, that is now 3 dragons. Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I was just about to say, so now it's all about the Baron dance, right? And when your Smolder still has his sums at least, and Koopa doesn't, but there's no way you're ever able to, like, actually get into this part of your jungle. I feel like it's going to be so hard. We see Seeker already getting pounced on.
Yeah, let's start getting a bit chunked to start out there. Bongo is back, trying to help the team push back into that jungle to retake some vision. The red buff, though, it looks like was stolen away by Iceborn.
Yeah, and that is like a big point. It gives you all that out of combat regen as well, right?
Oh, Zenith Blade going in for Kotis. Solar Flare coming out, though, only onto the Xin Zhao, who does pop the Crescent Guard to disengage. Mom coming out. That's going to connect onto everybody, but Seeker going down extremely low. Teleport in for Danny Phantom. That's going to be the flash out for Kotis. Gets away from the Death's Grasp. So a decent amount burned there. Nobody goes down.
Yeah, I mean, you got that teleport out now as well, so it's very hard now for Mordekaiser to be down in this bot lane when this Baron's up to contest. Did they just start this? No. No way.
They're not sure. They're not aware that everybody on the side of Iceborn went for the recalls. And even if they were, I don't think they would take it fast enough.
Yeah.
But the side of the Spire, they are going to have to make a stand soon. 3 minutes until a possible Hextech Soul for Iceborn. And if that goes over for Orianna, Yunara, it's probably just curtains. I mean, there is the Smolder, so I guess there's always a chance that he could do some silly things. But Baron started up now for Iceborn, and they are shredding it pretty quickly. Which, not
Yeah.
in the area at the moment. The Xin Zhao is trying to get over here in time. Looks like he will make it over. Codis is chunked pretty low, but the Scion coming in on the flank angle gets the charge onto the Xin Zhao. Seeker is going to be the first to fall as Koopa takes that kill. Look at the Yunara kiting over, is
Yeah.
able to shred Danny Phantom, just gets eviscerated,
It's so
and the
easy,
Yunara
just
running
stands on
over
Bongo.
everybody. Bongo going to be the last to fall, and yeah, the Yunara picks up the quadra kill and was just completely untouched in that fight.
Yeah, great job from Iceborn there. They knew their outs and was playing for them. They got this mid game. I was talking about the games are just decided around these Atacon fights, and they were set up for the Atacon fight and they played it better. I think special shout out to So Easy in the top lane on this Scion. Just has been an absolute masterclass by them. But OTF as well had so many huge game-changing ultimates as well that they're who I'm looking for towards this MVP. Another kill just going over as the end game celebration, and that's Iceborn with game 1 victory.
Yeah, really nicely done by them. And you called it, right? You gave us the Otacon stat before we even got into that game. And yeah, I guess
Yeah.
we should have, at the time, it kind of felt to me like it was a relatively even trade. It's like, oh, Otacon for Iceborn, but like Spire get the Dragon and like a mid tier 1, and they're like still scaling. But in the end, it felt like the Otacon value definitely did a lot for Iceborn. They were able to snowball the game pretty convincingly after that sequence.
Yeah, just that weird thing to me of like, Syndra Eros basically was invisible that game, right? That they had a couple of plays there where there was like some big scatters, but we never saw any of those unleashed powers really getting anything, right? Um,
Yeah.
but the story of the damage is just the two ADCs, right? It was all Bongo and all Koopa doing the damage this game. Danny and So Easy have noticeable damage numbers as well, but that's just them hitting each other. Like those aren't real stats as far as like damage like to other people. I'm pretty sure was under like 5k for both of them.
Yeah, probably right there. And yeah, I mean, Koopa had a phenomenal game on that Yunara. I do think OTF played really well, 5-0 and 15 on the Oriana. And yeah, a little bit of an uncharacteristic underperformance from Eros. That was, I believe, if I recall correctly, our season 12 finals MVP was
Yeah.
Eros. But yeah, I think you said it was unfortunately for the Spire pretty invisible in this game. They did burn his flash very early on. Remember Haman Karn going for that early gank towards the mid lane to put a little bit of pressure on. And yeah, just kind of felt like Eros wasn't really able to get control over the lane and struggled to really find an impact later on as well.
Mhm. And yeah, Witch just didn't really have anything, right? You're playing Zenzao and you aren't able to get anything in the mid game. Like we did see a little bit of those fights, but was like going so deep trying to get kills. I think 6-7 or Codis does deserve like a lot of shoutouts this game. Like that guy only died 5 times while playing Leona, and the enemy team like was diving on him a lot, right? Got so much
Yeah.
value out of that celestial opposition. I think Codis played really, really well this game, but it's really hard to look at the scoreline and not go, yeah, Koopa's the MVP. I think it's to
Yeah.
me them.
Yeah, I mean, all of the setup and the tanking of the aggro and, the team fighting from the front line doesn't matter if your carry doesn't get the job done in the end. And Koopa definitely did come through for him, was able to capitalize really nicely on all that setup that was coming out. I think you're absolutely right to call out Codis for doing a great job on that Leona, tanking the aggro and setting up the plays, and So Easy as well, as we already mentioned, was taking a lot of aggro on that Scion also. So well played by everybody on Iceborn. They drafted a very standard team fighting composition, and they team fought well, and they were rewarded with a victory. So credit to them. And we're aligned on the Koopa POG vote, right?
Yeah, for sure.
All right. Well, we'll see if the Spire can bounce back in that game number 2. Again, both of these teams went to 3 games last week in their first round of Swiss. So hoping to get 3 games again tonight. We'll see after the break.
comes and goes, it goes, it goes. My weakness echoes in my soul. Oh, it echoes in my soul. My weakness comes and goes, it goes, it goes.
I wanna rush with you in the morning. I live up to feel more alive. I want those eyes to never be lonely. Let's make this night the time of our lives. I wanna rush with you in the morning. I live up to feel more alive. I want those eyes to never be lonely. Let's make this night the time of our lives. Let's make this night the time of our lives.
Okay, folks, welcome back. We are momentarily going to be getting underway with our Game 2 draft between Moonlight Spire and Iceborn Kingdom. Moonlight Spire going to opt to move over to the blue side after that Game 1 loss. Storm, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, if there's the priorities there, there's the priorities there. That's how it works. Blue side is if you think there's things in the meta that you really want. Red side is to try and see what your opponent is doing and react to it in certain ways. This Moonlight Spire in that Game 1 tried to say, you know, okay, we're both scaling. We're going to go for a more late game. And here we go. Draft has started. I think these are the same bands coming through. Viego, I do remember going over as the first band for the Spire. Rise, I'm not sure if that was touched at all, actually, in the last series.
It was not. Iceborn's
Yeah.
blue side bands last game were Trundle, Seraphine, Maokai, and Spire's bands were Viego, Silas, Fiddlesticks. So, interesting. I thought Witch was like the Fiddlesticks merchant guy. Am I wrong about that?
Yeah, no, he is.
Interesting that
Maybe
they would
they
ban it
were-
away from themselves. I wonder what their
I think they
fishing
were
pool was.
Yeah, they were worried it was getting taken from them or something. Is it not me, or by banning Poppy and Maokai, are you not setting up for like the grossest like Fiddlesticks game? Or sorry, yeah. This seems like really good for Fiddle. I have no idea why you did this. Those are like two of the best junglers into him, are they not?
I mean, they're both good, but I honestly, when I play Fiddle, and you know, Witch I'm sure has played more Fiddle than me, so he probably knows better, but I'm actually more scared of like the really strong early game jugglers that can like invade you and try to
Okay.
ruin your earlier clears. So the Jarvan, definitely a strong early game champion, does have that CC as well to interrupt the drain, so feels like a pretty good answer from Haman. And I know the Jarvan is something that he's played quite a bit in the past as well. Yeah, I see a Game 3 win last week over the Chosen Inters was 0-1 and 14 on the Jarvan, was Haman. So definitely pulled it up recently. And the Azir is something else. I was really wondering if it was going to come out for Eros. Again, he did have a pretty good game on that last week also.
This draft looks abysmal so far. Fiddlesticks Azir sounds like the worst mid jungle duo I have heard of in a long time.
I mean, they're just drafting for comfort, right? They're just wanting to pick up a couple of their more commonly played picks.
Oh my god, this Iceborn comp is so friggin' good, dude. You have Nico, Aurora, and Jarvan already. That's
Scary.
so scary. Bro, Corky is gonna be in for a rough game.
I mean, at least he does have the one dash, right, to try to get away from one of those engages. But
it can get interrupted by all of them, right?
That's true.
Like, and you can't buffer it either. It's not like you're playing Tristana and like Jarvan hops onto you and you just go, aha, whatever.
Yeah. Well, see how that goes. You know, the Azir does have some favorable interactions here where you can like
Yep.
push a Jarvan out of his own ult. You can like push away the Nico if you time it good enough. You can like deny the Nico from finding her engage. So we'll see what arrows can get done with the Pigeon. A couple of supports banned away from Iceborn here on the 4-5. The Frank and the Nautilus. The book option is going to be denied, and the Blanc and the Caitlyn going to be the Spire bans.
There's no way that's a LeBlanc ban. The enemy team has Aurora already. Right? Or am I
Guess we're
crazy?
expecting the flex potential. It could be like top lane Aurora or something. You know, we have seen
I
that
guess.
a little bit this season. But yeah, I hear you. The
Yeah.
LeBlanc ban feeling a little bit weird. I think, you know, maybe LeBlanc they just feel like is one of the best answers into the Azir specifically. So for that reason, they were worried about the Aurora flex. But
Yeah, this was what I was going to bring up, is the Kai'Sa that got locked in. The enemy team has like picked like all of the like good go in die buttons, and now you gave away Kai'Sa by banning this LeBlanc. That sounds like a mistake. This looks absolutely miserable for Corki, man. What the hell do you play at support as Iceborn to try and make Kai'Sa Nico not like run over your Corki? It has to be something like early game skewed and like, right? Oh.
yeah, looks like we got a little bit of a visual bug there on the B4 lock-in. So we'll get that information for you guys in a moment. It was what? Sorry? Seraphine. Oh, it's the
Seraphine.
B4. Okay. So still waiting for the B5 then to come through. Yeah, I mean, I don't know if that's necessarily what we had in mind, Storm.
No, I think Seraphine is going to die a lot. That sounds like what's going to happen to me. I think that should have been like Braum or something, right? Like,
For the Braum, yeah.
I'm just trying to think of like other things, but like, I get that you want like the range support, and it's like what your team needs kind of is like the initiation and like stuff to follow up after Fiddlesticks. This is the other thing I want to say is like, what the hell is like Moonlight doing after Fiddlesticks comes in, right? There's not a lot. There's like Seraphine ult. I guess you could go for an Azir shuffle or something after. But
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, at least the
Oh.
Quirky has like good AoE damage to try and follow up
Yeah.
on the Fiddlesticks engage. Aatrox's now going to come through on the R5 to go into the Cassante. Wow, I mean, yeah, this feels dangerous. Cassante is your only front line for the Spire composition against all of this engage power for Iceborn. Ooh, yeah,
Yeah.
we'll see if the comfort pays off for him, but Spire definitely taking some risks with this draft.
I mean, yeah, I'm pretty much at the point where it's like, I think the Spire loses this game like really quickly. I don't see a way that this comp like works out really well, because it's like, I don't think your early game is very good, right? It's not like you're gonna get like some big lead early on. You know, Corki, sure, and Seraphine are like a fairly strong bot lane, but like I feel like they are super susceptible to ganks. Like Seraphine, especially to Jarvan with flash knockup, Nico being able to root her afterwards and stuff. It's like, I don't see how Seraphine like plays this game at all, to be honest with you. You needed some sort of like anti-dive tool. It had to be something like, you know, Alistair is banned, but Braum is there. Like, I don't know if they play it all, but like Tarek is like, you just need something like that. That's like just disengage options, because like, sure, Seraphine offers that a little bit with like the double shield that you can provide and stuff, and like, you know, you have the slow and stuff, but you're so individually like squishy that I don't know if it matters at all.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the thought process must have been like they're trying to win the lane, right? That you have Corki as a decently strong laner, so you're picking the Seraphine. You know, the Nico, one of the strongest things about Nico is she's so oppressive in the laning phase, right? So if you can actually win the lane against Nico, then you're denying some of the value of the pick. And Kai'Sa is famously a pretty weak laner, so I'm imagining that was the thought process. And, you know, honestly, Storm, it's kind of weird to say for this draft that has Azir and Fiddlesticks and like Cassante, right? All these champions that do scale really well. But, because of the way that their draft is set up, it does feel like Spire need to snowball, right? For Fiddlesticks especially,
Yeah.
like you need to be having control over the map so you can set up those pockets of vision where you can jump on people from surprise angles. So I guess that's probably the thought process for the Spire is like, we can't really be losing at any point in this game, or we're just going to lose control of the map and we're not going to be able to get it back.
Yeah, my worry for this comp is like, if this team falls behind, Fiddlesticks is like screwed, right? Fiddlesticks is the jungler
Right.
where you have to farm and you need like tons of money to be really impactful. And your team can't defend you. Like if Jarvan, Aurora, like roam to like get on top of you, like how the hell are you gonna win that as like a 2v2 with Azir Fiddle, right? Aatrox is probably gonna push in Cassante like the entire game as well. Like I'm really, really worried for Witch. I think there's going to be like a point in this game where it's like going to be like the effigy show and it's going to be like, yeah, he can't enter his own jungle. And I think that point's going to come pretty soon. Like I'm all in on this Iceborn win. I don't know what copium we can be offering for Moonlight, but like this looks bad to me. Like this is one of those, like, most drafts are like, oh, it's 60-40 or something like that. And like, a really good draft, it gets like 65, like 35 is kind of like how I always think about it, like the odds going into a game. This like is like above that. This feels like 70-30, like 7 or 8 times out of 10 I feel like this Iceborn draft should win. This sounds miserable for the Spire to me.
Storm, I really appreciate you trying, with so much dedication to curse them.
Yeah,
To try to curse that third game. I do really respect that. So we'll see. I mean, they definitely have, we've talked a lot about how Moonlight Spire, you feel like they kind of need to win early. They need to have control over the map, right? Or if they don't, the Fiddlesticks is just going to really struggle to be relevant. And for Iceborn Kingdom, they definitely have some decent early game tools here, right? Not only the Nico, but obviously, you already talked about the top lane matchup, how Aatrox with the R5 counterpick probably going to have priority up there, and the Jarvan as well. It feels like he has a really good opportunity here. Haman Karn does to get active early, try to find that advantage and just shut Spire out of the game. So if you're Haman here, where do you think you're trying to target with your early Jarvan pressure?
I mean, Fiddlesticks is my answer, right? You're just trying to make sure that you find where this Fiddlesticks is and you just take him out of the game, because Fiddlesticks is his whole basically shtick and why he's good is his full clear is like absolutely insane, right? I'm pretty sure it's still like top 3 in the game for like fastest clear speed, right?
I'm not sure, but could be. Yeah.
It's like it's insane because you can do like camps at the same time, right? Like you could do Krugs and Red Buff at the same time. It's like it's one of those things like you have to practice it and you stand in certain spots and like you use like bugs on the wall or whatever it is to be like, oh, this is where I stand where my drain now gets 2 camps at once, right? That's his like thing and his shtick. And I'm sure Witch has played him enough where he should be able to do that. But at the same time, it means you are guaranteed standing in one spot, which means Jarvan EQ is going to hit you and cancel your drain that is going on to monsters and take a giant chunk out of you. So like, I'm thinking there's going to be level 1 shenanigans and something like that we're going to get this early ward, we're going to find Fiddle and we're going to target him. I mean, as other lanes that you can target, like, I feel like you can kind of take your pick here. Your mid lane gank kind of sucks. You provide the CC and Aurora does have like some damage that you can get off the weirding or things like that, but I feel like Azir's range should be high enough that he shouldn't necessarily get poked all the time by these Aurora Qs, that like Azir I don't think is ever going to be like low enough that your gank is going to be like a guaranteed kill, because I feel like you have to flash as part of your EQ to get that guaranteed knockup onto the Azir, which means it loses all the damage that it does. So I don't think mid lane's the answer, but I think top lanes are probably going to be pretty good ganks. I feel like there's going to be dive opportunities there. I think the 3v3 down bot lane should be a win. I'm really unsure how Seraphine's going to do in this lane. The Tangle Barbs and stuff from Nico should be strong, but oh man, I hate this draft so much for Moonlight. It's full curse time. They're going to obviously prove me wrong somehow, and this is going to go to 3, but I don't got anything else, Crewman. Do you?
No, I think I'm good. I think I'm good. We're definitely pretty heavily favoring the Iceborn draft here on red side for the second game. Eros and Witch, two guys who definitely kind of underperformed in that first game compared to the level we're used to seeing from them. Going for comfort here in game number 2. We'll see if they can turn things around and get us that promised 3-gamer. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be right back.
You're blocking the exit with your life.
All right, everybody, welcome back. We are now jumping onto the Rift for our second game of the night. Iceborn Kingdom on the red side this time around, looking for the 2-0 Midnight Spire with quite an unorthodox draft. Definitely going for some comfort picks here in this second game, trying to get us towards that game number 3. And we do have a level 1 coming out, as expected, Storm from Iceborn, as they look to suss
Yep.
out where which might be starting.
Yeah, I feel like this is one of those things you can just walk around that you've been given this path that you could go and do something to Bongo. We did see kind of some of the skills come through. I think that was the blooming burst from Nico the Q there, and Jarvan already took their East. There's no real setup, just some chunk maybe that you could get out. And yeah, we'll have to see. I mean, Fiddle's super, super telegraphed, I feel like, in the way that he plays this early game. You should know where he's going to be at kind of all times. I'm guessing Haman Karn has also put some time in this. That's why the Spire felt that need to ban it, that they didn't want it taken away from themselves.
I suppose
So
so.
he should have kind of that look and that thought process, I think, this game of where which should be.
Well, we didn't actually see Iceborn move in for any aggressive
Yeah.
vision in that enemy jungle. It's just actually the ward going down. Looks like that was from Eros in that red side Raptor camp. So they're going to have some information on Haman's pathing, in fact. We do see that Witch is starting on his blue buff, so the junglers are going to be mirroring one another as they're both pathing towards that bottom side.
Yeah, nice sidestep there from So Easy on that Q3 out from Cassante on Danny Phantom. But yeah, that matchup in the top lane is just all about spacing, right? Cassante does just do Casante things. Like if he has the option to, double you.
Whoa. Look at
Oh,
Fiddlesticks. He's taking the Raptors.
what?
Fiddlesticks is invading the Jarvan.
Uh,
That's amazing.
okay. That was not
All
on
right.
my bingo card. Oh,
Nor
Seeker,
mine.
what are you? Okay.
Okay, so the bot lane not going super amazingly for the Spire so far. That is
Yeah.
a slightly worrying. As both summoners off of the Seraphine.
Yeah.
As Codis already putting on the pressure with the Nico pick. B-Drop decent though, gets the root. But the return route coming out onto Bongo prevents the Quirky from following up onto the Nico.
Okay, Jarvan
And
has done
now-
his top side camps and sees Fiddlesticks on this red buff ranks this ward.
Yeah, Witch
But
still
Witch
only level
is
2.
full health.
Yeah, but he doesn't have his third ability. Okay, now he's going to get his
Now
third
you have your
ability.
third
Smite
ability.
away that last Raptor. The red buff is still available, though, and Haman is going to move in and discover this. But has to be a little bit worried about the
Koopa's
bot lane
here,
roaming
too.
over. Yeah, Koopa, though, being here makes this a little bit more comfy for Jarvan to actually look for this buff. They're looking for the Fiddlesticks instead, but now we do see Seeker rotating over to defend the
Oh,
Scarecrow.
it's friggin' Nico. It wasn't Koopa moving. I was going, man, Koopa's dropping a lot of CS. No, it's just Nico doing it, of course.
Got Nico'd already. Gonna have
Yeah.
to watch out for that. Yeah, if we got Nico in this game, and also the Fiddlesticks effigies can be very confusing when you're looking at the mini map. So
Yeah, to
our
call
work
stuff
cut
out,
out
it's
for us. Yeah.
It's like, oh, there's this gank happening mid lane. No, it's not. It's a Fiddlesticks effigy.
Okay, so as things settle here, it looks like Witch was able to get 5 of his camps. Oh, he does have Smite, and so he's going to be able to lock away that red buff. Haman has secured the Southern Scuttle Crab in the meantime. We'll see which jungler is going to be first to the topside river. Both moving in that direction. Could be a pass-through on mid lane. Flash EQ comes out. Eros able to shift some sands, gets away from the Jarvan gank, and holds on to the flash, importantly. And now Haman moving into that river, but the rotation down from the Cassantes. Danny Phantom looking to punish this. The fear already used, though, for the Fiddlesticks, and Haman should have the combo back to get over the wall to safety. And yeah, they're not going to be able to lock down that J4. So Haman, slight lead early on here in the jungle matchup. Does get the double scuttle.
Yeah, I don't know if he's really that far ahead, though. I don't think he's done his Gromp or Wolves yet, has he? Like, they're still level 1.
That's true. Yeah, he hasn't. But does have those still to farm. Although I guess the camps are respawning now for Witch as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, pretty even so far.
6-7,
Okay.
so
I was
cool.
looking at the scoreboard. My bad. Yeah, Koda's almost dying there to the high note. But the Nico, Nerves of Steel, holding on to the flash there. Not getting out of the way of that one. Just tanks the damage. And is going to survive. Another ward going down there for Eros on that Raptor camp once again. They are unavailable at the moment.
Yeah.
Look at that actually really big CS lead right now for So Easy in this top lane. Gonna get the pullback onto Danny Phantom as well. The Cassante may be in trouble here. Only level 5 still for Danny. But So Easy not gonna chase that Cassante underneath the tower. He knows not to go that far. And so Danny's gonna be able to pick up this wave. Gonna get level 6 for himself off the XP as well. And Dragon, it looks
Okay.
like, started up for Haman.
So here's my question now, right? Cassante is obviously going for Thornmail, basically first item, right? He has the components already for it. Guessing he's going to rush that. As So Easy, do you still rush Sundered Sky? I mean, it is so broken on Aatrox, right? Especially with that ult healing. Or is it going to be more towards something else?
Yeah,
Are we going to see a Black
honestly,
Cleaver or something?
Cleaver could be good. Better
Yeah.
into the Cassante, at least, for the lane matchup. And honestly, I feel like it's not an amazing Sundered Sky game. I mean, you've got all these ranged champions on the side of Moonlight
Yeah.
that are probably going to be pretty spread out, I imagine, in the team fights. So kind of hard to get many procs out of the Sundered Sky. We'll see. Do see the Fiddlesticks moving into that topside river for now. Still a minute out on the grub spawn, but I believe there is a crab there for Witch to secure. And there it is.
Yep. Doing it on vision, so Karn does know that if he wanted to go for this bot lane, he does have time to make this play, but topside camps are spawning, so that means he's got to go there. OTF doing well to kind of poke Arrows out, but Arrows staying completely even in CS, I think, it should be commended. Hasn't really lost a whole bunch of tempo like I thought he would. Does take a reset here. Don't know if there's a freeze setup or anything like OTF in mid lane. Don't think it's really going to mean anything.
No, we definitely were expecting the Aurora to be stronger early, and OTF has managed to get pretty consistent prio, has allowed Iceborn to secure that first dragon already. But pretty interesting recall timing here for the mid laner, as the Grub's now spawning imminently, and Witch could have an angle to try to move in towards this topside Rever. Already secured the Scuttle Crab earlier.
Oh, is it a
Looking for the
birthday
Crow
surprise that's
Storm.
coming in?
So easy, gonna get feared, and the Cassante flip back gonna be there as well, and the all-out gets him onto the tower. And Witch's first surprise party of the game is going to be very, very successful. So easy, did not see it coming whatsoever.
Yeah, and that's just the power of the Fiddlesticks. Should be able to hit one of these Grubs at least. I doubt Karn's going to flip this. Oh,
Knockup
never
gonna
mind.
land onto the Azir, but the fear immediately onto Haman. The Between Worlds, though, is a lot of damage from this Aurora. And OTF just needs a little bit more. Flashes forward, gets that last auto attack onto the Azir. Danny Phantom extremely low, but the two-fold hex is going to miss. And Cassante has another Q3 available. Not quite going to find the flip back. And OTF with a weirding takes down the top laner, picks up the double kill, and now Witch.
Oh, he is red buffed to run him down.
Might be in trouble as well. At least there's a blast cone there for the Fiddlesticks. I think he's going to be able to get away, but OTF, does he have a W backup maybe? Oh, the Fiddlesticks. Looks like he will just barely escape. But the Grubs all still up and available. And OTF, there is that early power of the Aurora coming alive.
Yeah, I think OTF might have just saved a major part of this game for him. Oh, that's a big pop.
Oh, that's going to be a charm onto the Nico, as Codus in a lot of trouble, does die to the high note. That's going to be the feat of warfare over to Spire. They are able to get a nice early lead for themselves now. Haman, meanwhile, has secured the first Grub, which moving in now to contest the Jarvan on the objective. But OTF, look, the Aurora already on the move once again. The smite is good from the Jarvan. That's 2 Grubs now for Iceborn, which potentially in trouble here. But OTF not going to fully commit for that chase down. Haman, on the other hand, wants to flag and drag forward. But Witch is going to be able to back away. And OTF clears out the minion wave once again. Scuttle Crab, now the contest.
I mean, you're given time now as well. Koopa's here to cover this in mid wave in case something happened. And I feel like So Easy should just... Oh, is it? God damn it. You're right.
Again.
Oh, I'm so bad at it.
Well. Yeah, some vision getting secured here by Codus in the line brush. And that is the real
Arrows?
Nico now moving into Arrows. Kind of messed up the shifting sands. Does get a nice sweep, though, on a 2, but OTF just dunks him. That is one world you're going to be sent to, Mr. Pigeon Man, as the Aurora picks up her 3rd kill already. Has got Dark Seal in the inventory as well. And it looks like it's going to be the 3rd Grub also going over to Iceborn. Now they're starting to get things together, starting to build up some momentum.
Yeah, I mean, there's got a pretty sizable CS lead, I want to say, in all of their lanes, right? You have 12 CS kind of towards the ADC, you got 12 CS in the mid lane, 20 CS almost towards this top lane for So Easy, because he has this kind of big freeze setup as well. That's turning into like a little bit of a gold lead already, and we were talking about that we wanted an early game lead from the Spire, and they're not getting it.
Yeah, it's starting to look a little bit dangerous for them already. You can see a 1,000 gold lead there in the mid lane. Definitely the biggest difference by far this early on, is now Iceborn looking for their 2nd dragon. This would be the feat of monster slaying if they can get this one. Where is Witch? He's waiting in a very nice spot for the Fiddlesticks, but
Oh
Iceborn
my
are playing
God,
pretty
look at
far back.
Seeker.
The surprise party does come out. The fear does come out onto Haman, and the smite is good from Witch. He gets the dragon, and they kill off the enemy jungler. OTF going down
OTF's
so
gonna
low as
die.
arrows with a lethal tempo. He does get taken down by the rocket over the wall from Bongo, and that is a huge swing for Spire, able to take back some control. Getting the shutdown on the Aurora is massive as well.
I mean, yeah, that to me is just insane to me. Like, we all know what Fiddlesticks does, right, guys? Like, he's gonna ult over a wall. I mean, they were spread out that they weren't all getting caught by it and stuff, but like, couldn't you have just done something to like leash the dragon or something, like out and away? Or there had to be something there. It just seems crazy to me that you let that flip, basically.
Yeah, Iceborn, you said it. They were clearly anticipating the possibility, but just not respecting the Fiddlesticks as much as they needed to in that situation, which was just, he knew his target. He just ult flashed
Oh,
right on.
Danny's
Oh,
gonna
that's
get
going to
a
be an
kill on
all out
isn't he?
for Danny Phantom. So easy pops the World Ender, backs away. The
Oh, it
flash
turns
forward
it.
or the dash forward for Danny, and now the Q3. Oh, he's
Oh.
able to dash away. Beautiful dance here between the top laners, spacing one another very nicely. The Q3 not going to land for Danny, and so easy looking to turn it around with the sweet spots. The Unstoppable comes out. The Q3 not quite landing, and now Danny finding another one. Oh, the flip back, not again. Going to land the Infernal Chains, pulling the Cassante back in, and there's so easy with the solo kill. Now the fear onto the Nico. That is going to be a dead support in the bot lane, so immediately Spider able to find one back on the other side of the map.
Oh man, there's just so much happening, but I feel like this is going to be a real concern is how this top line matchup is going to go out. You already see this 30 CS lead is growing. The plates aren't really going over for this Aatrox. He kind of sucks at taking them, but that is that Sundered Sky now fully completed. I absolutely have no idea why Danny Phantom has built a winged moon plate. What the hell was that for?
Not sure. It could be. It's almost certainly a dead man's, which
Yes,
I
he
don't
just
think is very common on Cassante.
no, it's not, and kind of for good reason. Iceborn is amazing on him for an armor item if you're trying to like stick onto someone.
Oh, there's
Oh,
gonna be the
that's an
between worlds
ult.
coming out from OTF. Finds the combo, and here comes the flag and drag into the dunk, and Haman gotta put that pigeon in a cage.
Okay, and that's not really gonna lead anything at this point. There's nothing on the map to take. We have moved Danny Phantom down to fight against Kaisa, who is almost on her cull as well, I would like to say.
Yeah. We do see the Trinity Force already done for Bongo over there. Stacking up the tier, only about halfway on the tier stacks though, so a ways out for the 2-item spike. Herald now alive. And now this could potentially... Oh, there's going to be the cross from over the wall. They've caught out OTF once again. The Aurora going to get taken down for the second time, which really making this Fiddlesticks work, man. You shouldn't have doubted the guy's one trick.
Bro, why do we all have sweepers? Why are there not blue trinkets in this game? It's Fiddlesticks, guys.
Come on,
I feel like I'm just going in.
Attempt, but
yeah, I feel like I'm just going insane, dude. Like, am I the only one who's like not respecting this champion or something? It feels insane to me that we're just like playing into him. But I don't know.
Yeah, he's 2-0-3 right now.
Yeah,
He's clearly very confident in all of these angles that he's looking for. Gonna be level 11 soon. Yeah, the Fiddlesticks is definitely in a nice spot. And so now that is 2-2 in terms of the neutrals. So nobody has claimed the defeats quite yet. Of course, the first brick is yet to be claimed as well.
yeah. And we can say with confidence, Nico is in the mid lane. There are 2 Kaisas there.
It's true. And one of them is definitely a Nico.
Yeah.
OTF, it looked like he was off to an amazing start, was 3-0. Looked like maybe he was just going to run away with the game. Koopa very, very close to securing that first turret there in the mid lane. Arrows barely in time to keep it alive, but one more auto attack from anybody. Gonna finish off that mid-tier 1. And who got the
Okay,
feat of, I believe it was the Spire, actually. They got the feat of Warfare, right? They were the
did,
first
yeah.
3 kills.
Seraphine got the 3rd kill, yeah, with Seeker with that ult.
You also have this next neutral objective on the map right now as well. It's a Mountain Soul this game. So that is going to be really big for these teams to fight over. Both top laners with their teleports available as Haman moves into the jungle looking for Witch, and that's going to be the flash out from the Fiddlesticks. Was kind of isolated on the side there. Haman doing a good job of catching him out, but the sweep is going to find the Jarvan. He used the Cataclysm to
Witch
try
is
to
going to get
disengage
such
the
a big
Encore.
ult. Look at this.
Beautiful Fitch does go in, finds 3. Haman forced to go back in, gets taken down by Bongo. But now all of these Iceborn Kingdoms trying to kite out with the root onto Koopa. The Kaisa going down extremely low, has to use the overdrive in retreat. Will be able to survive. But good setup there from Eros, and Witch doing a good job as well. They push back Iceborn, take down the jungler, and this is going to be the Spire's 2nd dragon now. And that is going to be feats of strength for them.
Yeah, that's a really, really big win for them. This caster curse coming in strong. I thought for sure that So Easy would have been trying to take this giant advantage he's been given and rotated down towards this fight. I mean, yeah, you have a 2-level lead and like 40 CS, but that's a Cassante. Like, he's still going to be useful in a team fight. This is the point in the game where you're like incredibly strong over him, and I feel like you could do
going to
something.
be attempted here in the mid lane. It does find it onto Seeker, and the Killer Instinct in from Koopa. Going to be able to take down that Seraphine. Seraphine's first death of the game, so credit to Seeker. Has been playing pretty safely so far, but it's a nice setup from Kotis. Going to get Kaisa her first kill.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of amazed in some ways that that just doesn't happen more. I feel like it's a very clear target in some ways that you can just do that almost on repeat on 6-7 or Kotis. Like, what the hell is Seraphine going to do if she doesn't have flash when you ult her, right? There's not much. I guess she can channel her own ult in response to, like, make sure that you can't land, like, the Nico route. Oh, is Eros
going to come out in the bot lane. Eros does get back underneath the tower. And OTF not quite able to chase down the Azir this time around. But just to revisit that last team fight briefly, I mean, I completely agree with what you were talking about in regards to So Easy. I felt like, you know, as soon as Haman was able to find a Witch and, like, got out the Fiddlesticks flash, like, I would want to see my Aatrox already channeling that teleport. It's like, okay, we got an advantage around the dragon. Let's fully commit to this. Get ourselves up to 2 dragons. But yeah, just continuing to push in this Cassante feels like diminishing returns for the Aatrox up here, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really know what it's going to get you in the anymore, because it's like it hasn't gotten you this tower. Adacon's now up here, so it's like you're probably not going to be able to stay up here either as Aatrox. Like, I feel like people are going to start being on this side of the map now. And with, like, CC and, like, 2v2, I feel like Cassante Fiddlesticks is going to win out over this Aatrox and Jarvan.
Yeah, they are scaling quite nicely. Otacon, as we can see, or new guy, as we like to call him, is now alive. And we see Iceborn Kingdom moving in, taking some control over this side of the map. OTF in the bot lane with the teleport available, and Eros notably does not have that teleport at the moment. Herald summoned up. Shelly going to be arriving into the mid lane, but not really going to be able to get too much done here. Does charge into the turn. Seeker caught out. Off on the side, no flash. There's the Cataclysm. Encore does connect onto 3, but there is no help for that pop star. Haman picks up his 2nd. The man advantage now for Iceborn. I see a couple of pings towards that Otacon.
Yeah, and now it's easy. You just set up your vision, and when Fiddlesticks comes in to contest you guys, you just kill him. This is what you're doing, right? You're not actually committing to this Atacon, right? We're not fully committing to this.
Right, we see.
And we're not going to get 4-man Fiddle ulted.
The Fiddlesticks was on vision a moment ago, so they know generally where he is. Haman does get pulled in, or if Flag and Drags try to look for the knock
Oh
up there.
my
They're
God,
turning off
look
the
at
Otacon, but
Bongo.
his health bars are so low. The Killer Instinct over from Koopa. The Corky tries to flash rejoin with the rest of the team, but he gets dunked by the Aatrox. Now Witch is trying to get some work done with the Crowstorm, does have the fear, so easy, forced to flash away from the AoE. Flip back on Haman, looking for the Fiddlesticks. Witch flashes, but he's still trapped in the pit, and so easy gonna have
OTF over the wall?
available. It's
Gets
OTF
him.
over the wall that gets it done, and now the Pop Blossom to lock down the Azir is going to get taken down as well. It's a double kill for the Aatrox, and overall pretty nicely played from Iceborn. They turn off the objective, they take the team fight, and get themselves into a great spot in this game number 2.
Yeah, credit to them for being able to peel off when they did. When I saw the Otacon at 3k HP, I went, oh God, they're flipping this. It's doomed. But they were able to get that peel off. People were able to flash away from the Fiddlesticks ult, notably from So Easy. And they were able to catch out Corky and kill him as well when he was isolated. Fantastic job by them. That's Otacon. That's such a huge lead for this team already. And now it's 35 seconds to drag in.
Oof, yeah, true. Obviously, if the Spire can somehow manage to find their way towards this dragon, that would be massive to get themselves up to Soul Point, and Witch is going to have the ultimate back at least. But yeah, I mean, Iceborn, fresh off the reset.
A real fiddle.
2 items done for both carries. Still just 1 in pieces for the Azir. Eros, unfortunately, kind of having a little bit of an off game again here. And Spire really going to need him to lock in if they're going to come back in this one. Scuttle secured now for Iceborn. But Bongo is going to be able to take down that mid-tier 1. So a little bit of control back in the mid lane for Moonlight. But Aatrox takes the top tier 1 and now is going to feel good about teleporting in. Here comes the top laner. He's decided to join up with the team.
I mean, he has 2 levels on everyone in the game. So Easy should absolutely fry people this fight. He is so much bigger than everyone else.
Right, Koopa going to start up the objective. So Easy going pretty deep into the jungle there, looking to zone the Fiddlesticks away. And it looks like he will be successful in that endeavor. Yeah, Witch just completely spotted out, not able to get into a good position to ult. Koopa just slowly taking down this dragon. They will get it. Now the Between Worlds going to come out from OTF. He is here for the Pop Blossom. Very nice there. On to 2. Look at Koopa now moving over the Killer Instinct. Straight on top of the Azir. The auto attack in the air. The Azir is going to get taken down. The Crowstorm from Witch. The Drain not going to be enough as Koopa takes down the Fiddlestick as well. And a beautiful Cataclysm from Haman.
God, so
Gets
easy.
those last couple of members, and So Easy able to capitalize beautifully. They could not get away from the sweet spot. It's going to be 5 for 2. Team fight massively in favor of Iceborn.
Yep. And that's how the rest of this game is going to go, basically. Their team has absolutely no response anymore to any of this. And I think it's just going to get worse and worse because this is now the point where all of your camps are going to start getting stolen and cycled away from you. And I don't know what you do anymore as Fiddlesticks because your only play is to randomly ult and try and kill people. And there should be enough wards and stuff in your jungle that should be impossible.
Yeah, I mean, it's exactly like what we talked about in the draft, right? Once the Fiddlesticks' team loses control of the map, it just becomes so impossible to play because you can't get it set up anywhere to go for those big ults. And you just end up being like almost trapped in your own base. And it's just not really going to work out from there. We see the Baron is now alive. It is a pretty huge gold lead, 7,000 now for Iceborn. Although they don't need to rush things. They have a lot of control right now. They could just play to continue stacking up these dragons. I do maybe need to be a little bit worried about the scaling, but I mean, they've just been outplaying in the team fights, and it's not like their composition really falls off.
Yeah, it's not like there's any real clock going against them, right? It's not like, Corky is suddenly going to get his 5th or 6th item and just take over the game. Also, can I just point out, is this friggin' Collector 3rd on Corky?
Where? Oh, I would not like that very much.
I really hate that, especially if that is what is coming through. I have no idea what else it is because there's a dirk and a pickaxe.
Between Worlds in the bot lane, Eros going to shift some sands, gets back underneath his Sun Disc as OTF Not willing to give up on it quite yet, but we'll have to let the pigeon fly away this time around. Danny Phantom goes unstoppable as they're looking actually for the Seraphine. Seeker forced to flash away from Haman. That's going to be another summoner advantage gained. So they look to take control over this part of the map, but still not willing to commit to the Baron just yet.
Yeah, and I don't really think they need to. Doing Baron to me just feels like a throw almost at this point. It's just kill somebody and then take it. If everyone else is alive, I don't want to be hitting this objective, but they're hitting it.
They're hitting the objective, Storm. We'll see how it
Yeah.
goes. They do have some good vision there in the Banana Brush. They're going to spot out the Spire as they move in to try and contest, and we could be looking at another turn situation here. Danny Phantom leading the charge, as he should, on the Cassante. Amon forced to flag and dragon retreat. Oh, they are going to get the teleport out from Eros, but kind of seemed like Iceborn were already backing away.
Yeah, this seems like a major mistake from Eros. Okay. So Easy did finish his recall. I was really worried there for half a second, but yeah, Koopa's gonna finish his Terminus now. I'm guessing OTF is also really close to getting his death cap done. He is channeling this reset now. Guessing he has that. Oh no,
Not quite yet. About 600 gold away.
Yeah.
Should he's not gonna have it for this next dragon fight either. Maybe this
Yeah.
is last chance saloon for Spire. Find a miracle team fight
Yeah.
around the dragon.
I guess. Yeah. I still have no idea yeah, it's collector.
Oh,
Our Corky
dear.
did build a collector. Dear God, why?
I think I may have undersold it a bit before. I quite hate it as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no other crit in the builds. It's just not an efficient item this late in the game.
Which is
So
gonna
easy to
find so
face track
easy.
the Fiddlesticks, but he's level 16 on the Aatrox. Pop the World Ender at any time here. Gonna hold on to it for now.
Yeah, there's some fruits up here and down there that he's just gonna be back and healthy. And now you just go and you find where Fiddlesticks is.
Yes,
That's
just
how this
like
works.
we saw last time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Aatrox can just move in here behind the Dragon Pit. OTF taking a top inner turret while this is happening. And has the teleport, so he's going to get himself a cool 700 gold. That's death cap money. And now
Yep.
he's going to be able to recall, get his death cap, and teleport in for the dragon fight. Beautiful. And
Yeah.
Eros is forced to go and match that and pick up that top wave without teleport.
Okay. We have successfully gone in and established that Fiddlesticks is not over a wall to ult us. And
For
we
now.
dropped some wards, right? Okay, they have cleared them out on the side of the Spire. So that's a good job from them. We see Witch.
Okay.
He's in his favorite brush. Can he get a surprise
Oh,
birthday party?
Yeah, so easy is going to find the Fiddlesticks once again. So he's going to get pushed out of this
Look
bush,
at
and they're looking
Codus.
for the engage. OTF just destroys the Corky immediately. Cataclysm onto the Flatless Seraphine. In goes Koopa with the Killer Instinct, which has nowhere to go. Goes Golden to try to buy a moment, but his top laner has been evicted from the area, or evicted himself, I guess. And his Danny Phantom is just trying to survive. He is just running away. He is all out of that team fight. And that is going to be Baron now, is the objective of choice for Iceborn.
Yeah, Baron into third dragon. Oh man. They got even more of those blossoms to get them more level leads to get further ahead as well. You can see that Koopa is now level 16 as the rank 3 ult. I don't know, is Obongo even level? He's level like 14, right? That's a 2-level lead there. We see that OTF's level 17 now. I think Eros, I don't think has reached 16 yet either.
I think you're right.
Yeah, level 15 on this Azir. Like, these are major like points as well, right? Like rank 3 ults are such a huge strength for everyone. So so easy
my
is
goodness.
a little far forward here. I think he just killed
Oh, he
himself.
is.
Oh no.
No, he's got World
No,
Ender. He's fine. He's going to be able to
okay.
flap away from that one.
Yeah.
And the dragon is being taken in the meantime. So that's Mountain Soul Point now for Iceborn Kingdom. They've got the Baron on for about 2 minutes. How much do you think they can get with this Baron?
I think they end the game with it. They should.
Ooh, all right. I think that would be pretty cool to see. I always love when teams have massive advantages like this to see them close games out cleanly. So let's see if Iceborn are going to be able to do it. Teleport back out onto the map for the Aatrox. So easy, going to be taking up a residence in this mid lane for now. It looks like the rest of the team moving down towards the bottom side as they pick up that minion wave. The Spire solo laners in position to defend the tier 2 right now.
Yeah, we do see that. I believe that is the real Fiddlesticks up doing his blue buff. That is Witch, right?
Yeah.
Now moving down towards mid lane.
Yeah, they could catch out so easy again here. They're going to get the fear onto the Aatrox. He does flash away from the beat drop, so that's pretty nice, but doesn't have access to the World Ender. But
Oh my God, look at the healing
from that Sundered Sky. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, they are looking to try to focus down this tier 2. As the Aatrox will survive. Did have to burn the flash, but distracted 4 members of the Spire. The tier 2 will get taken. 1 minute left on the Baron now, and Witch already gone for the ultimate attempt. See what more that Iceborn can get with their siege. They've taken down the mid inhibitor tower now. OTF able to make short work of that one. The inhibitor itself will also fall. And a couple more waves to work with here in the bottom side. It's the bot inhibitor turret now under fire. I like this from OTF going up towards the top lane now. So it's a full court press coming out from Iceborn Kingdom, trying to pressure every single lane. And the Spire forced to divide up their defenses. But the wave's not quite synced up for Iceborn, so the Spire are going to be able to defend for now. And this is the last Baron wave that Iceborn have to work with. Coming in right now. Okay, something just happened to Seeker. He was there, and then he wasn't anymore. And
Yeah,
now...
maybe a visual bug on that one.
You think
I'm sure
so?
we'll see
Could
him
be.
soon. Yeah.
Haman is going to be forced to flag and drag out of the enemy base. But that is, I believe, 3 inhibitors secured. The triple inhib has been taken. And the bot lane is still up. Okay. Unironically, really big for the Spire that they don't have to deal with the doubled up super minions. But
Yeah.
still a really tough spot.
Yeah, Aatrox just built a Spirit Visage, like, pretty much from full, I think. So that's gonna be... Yeah, I think that's gonna make that healing go even more insane. I just think that, yeah, so easy you can just run at these guys, I'm pretty sure, and I don't really know what the enemy team can do about it. I think Cassante tries to ult him over a wall so that he is not running at his team, I think is the answer that they have to so easy currently.
Yeah, that sounds about right. At least, you know, Danny Phantom does have the Dead Man's Plate, so he can run at the Aatrox really quickly and ult him as soon as possible. Oh,
well, when he ults him, he can then run away from him with his ult form because he gets squishy, right?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Well, the inhibitor is not able to run away, unfortunately. That is the target right now for Iceborn, as they've got multiple members committed towards this bot lane once again. But Spire, going to put up the Sun Disc, defend at their last inhibitor with everything that they have. This is the line in the sand that they have drawn. They will successfully push back IK for now.
Yeah, it is worth mentioning, right, that like Bongo is really strong on this Corki. Despite building a collector and everything, he's still 3-item Corki and he's almost level 16. Like, Corki is one of those marksmen you don't think is a hyperscaler, but like, he builds the most expensive items in the game, basically. So if he gets all of them done, he's really, really strong.
Yeah. Definitely is doing a lot of damage right now, is Bongo.
Yeah.
You can see just that big one alone, chunking out both carries on the side of Iceborn. And, you know, ultimately, they don't need this inhibitor. They've got their Mountain Soul spawning in 30 seconds. They could retreat back towards the Dragon Pit at any time. They're just maintaining presence here for now to prevent the Spire from getting any access to their own jungle for as long as possible.
Yeah, I mean, it's Mountain Soul point into Baron into probably end the game, right? I don't see any other way that it isn't. Seeker and everybody does have Flash, so I guess Witch can look for the hero play.
Oh, the Aurora goes across the veil and immediately one-shots the Seraphine. Pop Blossom Knights as well onto 2. That is going to be the Azir going golden to buy a moment. And the shuffle, though, is not going to be enough to salvage this team fight. Bongo cannot do it by himself. It's going to be a triple kill. Make it a quadra for the Bunny Girl. And all of Summoner's Rift was Iceborn's Kingdom in this best of 3.
Yeah. Ouch. I think is fair to say for the Spire there, right? That
Yeah,
was
that is an ouch.
that was just not a good game.
Yeah, I mean, I think we do have to respect them going for the comfort picks here in game two, which
Yeah.
definitely was feeling very confident and found a couple of decent angles in this game, including that I believe he got the first blood in the top lane, right? I think that was So
Yeah.
Easy's only death of the entire game was when Witch ulted him over the wall.
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I mean, definitely very convincing from Iceborn tonight. Hearing from Zed earlier on Otter Talk, he was really rating this team very highly, was kind of concerned that they dropped their first game of the season to the Chosen Inters. But I think Iceborn coming into this 1-0 bracket with something to prove, they had a very convincing performance tonight against Moonlight Spire.
Yeah. I mean, there's nothing really else to say from that one, right? It was pretty much just domination through and through. Like, I don't feel like there was really a big point where like we're like, oh, the Spire's definitely gonna win this. There was like a brief glimmer of hope, I think, in game one, where before the last team fight where Spire, they started equalizing it and Smolder was starting to get some kills, and I was going, oh, they're gonna do it. And then Bongo died as that Smolder from the double TP, and it was just like, okay, it's over now.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
was like the closest point of the game, right? That again, yeah, like Bongo did well. He was 7-4-2 as that Corki. Basically didn't have a way into that game and still did like almost the most damage in the game, right? Like they did really well individually, but I have absolutely no idea why you drafted Seraphine. That pick seemed ridiculously troll to me. I don't care that it's good for the lane or whatever. The Seeker was homeless that game, right? Basically, the entire game was like Nico ulting him into him dying, or it was like So Easy killing him, or Harman Karn would put him in the baby cage and he would die. Like, I'm amazed he only had 6 deaths, basically, to be honest with you.
Yeah, I mean to Seeker's credit, it did feel like the lane was pretty comfortable at least. Didn't die at all until it was like 18 minutes or something when
Yeah.
Seraphine died for the first time, and then I guess the floodgates kind of opened, and maybe that was like an epiphany moment for Iceborn Kingdoms, like, oh wow, we can actually just like kill this Seraphine, and then they kind
Yeah.
of kept doing it. So yeah, that was that ended up being pretty difficult for Seeker to play out down the stretch for sure. And yeah, just credit to Iceborn. I mean, they looked really good in a lot of those team fights. There were a
Yeah.
couple of shaky moments. I mean, you highlighted the fight in game number 1 where like the Smolder was able to pick up a couple of kills. But particularly in this game too, their turn off the Otacon I thought was really nicely handled. And they
Yeah.
had great control around those later dragons as well.
Yeah, and So Easy actually scouting for and trying to find Witch at that third dragon and things like that of just running at the enemy team. Like you knew he was that far ahead. And yeah, they played really well. I think Iceborn definitely looking like as one of these 2-0 teams that's gonna be looking to advance at 3-0. They got a good shot at it. It's not just XSV Gluttony and the rest. Like, I don't know, some people were thinking. I kind of almost had that thought as well, but Iceborn's really showing up. I think they played really well this series.
Definitely, definitely. Did we both have Iceborn in our projected top 5? I don't remember. We'll have to go back and
Uh
look at the content, I guess.
yeah, I think I'd have to go check the content out. I don't think so. I think I had them at like 6th. I think I put Monkey Business ahead
Mm.
of them.
Yeah, well, definitely some strong performances across the board tonight. Who's our Iceborn POG for this game number 2? Who do you think? I think I
It's
have a front runner in mind.
It's got to be Eros, does it not? Or sorry, OTF, like
OTF, yeah.
For demolishing Eros. I mean, as
Yeah.
much as like I think So Easy was like the key instrument of like them winning late game and stuff, it's like OTF just like absolutely destroyed them towards like the mid game and got that huge lead. There
Yeah.
was like
I thi-
so many fights, like especially at Grubs when he like got those like 2 or 3 kills, it was like, okay, this game is now over.
yeah. Yeah, definitely able to get that early, able to go up to 3-0 on the Aurora, had a lot of was putting on a lot of pressure early on. And yeah, So Easy was really impactful later, but I feel like the Aatrox only really got involved for like the last 10 to 12 minutes of the game. Was
Yeah.
kind of when he had a really big impact, but Yeah, OTF, right from the word go. You know, we were highlighting this mid lane matchup at the start of the stream as potentially being a big one to look out for, but OTF really just had Eros's number tonight.
Yeah, completely he did. I don't think Eros had a very good showing this week at all, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I mean, we know that the Spire is a team that can have some highs and some lows, right? So, you know, seeing an off night for them is not something that's completely unheard of. You know, I definitely have faith that the Spire are going to be able to bounce back and show us some more strong performances later in the season. You know, they're still in a decent spot, right? Only in the 1-1 bracket. It's not doom and gloom for them just yet. But yeah, I think main takeaway from tonight is just Iceborn Kingdom looking very convincing against the season 12 champs. So credit to Iceborn Kingdom. Any other final thoughts, Storm? Anything else you wanted to mention?
I will just kind of say I think there's some other game results have come in.
Oh,
We will
yeah.
probably later on tonight. You will see the draw show as well from the bully and stuff. But Sin Squad 0 taking down Monkey Business 2-0, it looks like.
Uh-huh.
XSV Gluttony took over Conduit Asylum with a 2-0. Dorado Gaming Iota 2-0'd XSV Envy. They won game one in 20 minutes.
Wow. Yeah, Chucka was 7-0-8 on the J4. And Cali G 6-0-7 on the Cassante. Yeah, Dorado just completely destroyed them. Look, NBK pulled out the Garen mid in game 2 against Canela's Yone and went 15-3.
Oh my god.
Shit. Oh wow.
Yeah.
And yeah, the 2-0 for XSV Gluttony, unsurprising. Looks like some pretty solid performances from BKP and Spaghetti there again. And yeah.
For sure. Kog'Maw shout out. Love me some Kog'Maw. Teams, please play this champion. I swear to God, he's broken.
Yeah, perhaps we'll see a bit more of the COG moving into the later parts of the season. And yes, we will be having that draw show later, so I'm glad you mentioned that as well, Storm. Yeah, it looks like that's going to be on the main channel after Path to Pro has concluded for the evening. So stick around, check out the main channel for that one, guys, if you are interested in taking a look at the draw show. But I think that's going to do it from us here for now. We do also, I believe, have, is it Platinum? Yeah, Platinum with Chong and Koryak tomorrow night. So be sure to tune in for that as well. But for myself and Storm and Pop Tart and everybody at Blue Water, thank you everybody very much for watching. And we will see you next week for round 3 of the Emerald Swiss stage. Have a good night.
But when the night fell, all my thoughts went to sleep. It gets hard to breathe, and I got my